than what the astronauts had when they went to the moon.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
You know, and it's important to know how to take care of this. And this is why Adam's on. Adam's from Cell Surgeon. Nice to have you here, buddy.
Pleasure.
Finally got him on after over a year. Cell Surgeon is in the mall, Northgate Mall. It's easy to find next to Old Chicago Pizza.
Yes, sir.
So you get yourself a nice Old Chicago Pizza sandwich or slice there, and head over to Cell Surgeon, check out what they have. And, you know, even if you're not a candidate right now to have your cell phone repaired, I recommend you just stop in and say hi to the guys and say, here, you know, here's my phone. What do you think? Do you have any suggestions, any tips? And just get to know them just in case something does happen. You can call them and go, hey, Adam, you know, I dropped my phone. There's a little crack or this or that. It's always a good idea to know who you're going to be dealing with, because I can tell you this. If you do break your phone, you're going to want to go to Cell Surgeon, because these guys are honest. They know what they're doing. I went to Adam before he was a client to fix my phone, and that's how I got to know him. And let's talk about return customers, Adam, at Cell Surgeon. Which return customers look like? What? Because I would assume the whole family, you know, you're dealing with 3, 4, 5 different smart devices.
Sure. I mean, nowadays you got a family of 4. Mom, dad, brother, sister, they're all going to have smartphones, iPhones, you know, Samsung. And generally we see, you know, the first person to break one's the kid. And then the dad says, oh, I can't believe you did that. And then, you know, 3 weeks later, the dad broke it. And he's, you know, walking in trying to be like, don't tell my wife or my kids that I broke my phone.
Yeah. Please don't tell them. Or I broke their phone.
Yeah, no, we see that. We see that too a lot. So generally once we can get somebody through the door and they can realize our level of customer service and the quality of work that we do, they're going to come back.
Well, I can tell you this. I had an issue when I was out of town, and my phone wouldn't charge, and I totally freaked out. I mean, I could not get it to charge, and I was dead. I couldn't communicate with anybody. I mean, when you go out of town and your phone dies, you don't realize it, but you're out of communication. You're done. Yeah. And especially since we don't record phone numbers.
No.
A lot of times we don't even know our own phone number.
You'd be surprised how many people come in the store and ask them for their phone number, and they're going through their phone to try to figure it out.
Right. So what is important is maintaining your phone health. So the first it's just like your body. It's part of us. Yeah. Forget about chipping, Adam. They're not going to chip us anymore. Remember the big thing was the RFID chip, and they're chipping, you know, animals.
Right.
They were just dying. I was picturing this. I was picturing Walmart giving people $50 coupons to be chipped, you know, along with the government.
Right.
And Barack Obama said, "We now are going to have a chipping thing." That's a Southern. That's the Southerner got elected president. We're now going to have a chipping program to help everyone from birth to death. Yeah, go to Walmart, you get $50 coupon for everyone chipped. They'd be lining up.
Well, for $50, man.
They'd be lining up. I would have if I could figure out how to cut it out afterwards. You know, take my coupon and just cut it out.
I can think of a lot better things to do with $50.
But these devices are now an extension of us. It is shown that most people keep their smartphone within arm's length.
Sure.
And these are tracking devices. This will do everything for you. I run things on the radio station here with my phone. So now this is a part of us. So just like us, when we're feeling a little like Russell's been sick the past couple of days, because what are these kids always getting sick? You know, I'm 58. They tried to sell me more life insurance. They said, well, what do you take? I said, aggravation from you. Leave me alone. They said, you lactose intolerant? I said, no, I'm liberal intolerant. Boom, boom. But what was my point? Oh, people getting sick. What's the first thing you do?
Go to the doctor.
Well, you spray with Lysol first. Spray your whole body with Lysol.
That might be what you do.
You don't do that?
No.
Okay. Well, spray your whole body with. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, please. There's somebody in the car right now going, let me get my Lysol out. I'm feeling bad. All right. Well, don't do that. But after you don't spray your body with Lysol, what you do is you call the doctor or go to the emergency, right? I'm not feeling good. My phone. Same thing with your phone.
With healthcare these days, some people won't call the doctor.
Well, some of the ones we have on the air, they will, because you walk in. Again, a prime example. I did forget about insurance. I needed X-rays for my daughter. It was like $15. They would have charged $150. I have the bill. If you went through insurance, it was $15. A lot of times, if you say, "Listen, I've got cash right now. Give me a discount." It's amazing what these doctors can do. Now they have walk-in.
Yeah, but some of them won't take it. Oh, I'm sorry. That violates my agreement with the insurance company. I won't take cash.
I can tell you this: I've never had them say they couldn't take cash, not one time.
I haven't either.
And the reason why I brought this up too is because of the insurance program that I'm not going to call it an insurance program, but the guarantee program on your phone if it does break. That, you know, we can talk about that a little bit when you're looking at. Do you want to give it away?
Sure. We're looking at a new program. We're going to protect your phone. Basically, if you come in, you get your phone fixed. The normal price is, let's say, $100. Depending on your phone, between $20 and $50 extra. It's going to give you a one-time accident or break protection. So you walk out the door, 5 minutes later, you drop it and break it again. Just bring the phone back. We'll take care of it for you at no charge.
There you go. That's better than an insurance program. So you're feeling
insurance, you got a deductible and you got to pay $10 a month, and then, you know.
Well, we guys that have our own businesses, we have to make our customers happy if they're not coming back. It's not like government where somebody told me they were standing in line to get their driver's license renewed. It was a 2.5 hour line. Because, yeah, down at Homeland, there's a Homeland Security in Red Bank. Can you believe that? What the hell are they doing? I throw them out. What do you Homeland Security here for? What? What are they attacking you with? Worry about the guys overseas coming over, you know, a la Ahmad, and blowing themselves up. Which you think about why they blow themselves up. You know, you think about this. You can't drink. If you have a hot woman, you can't see her. She's covered up. There's no Playboy channel. I'd blow myself up too. I'd blow myself up on the air if that happened. And if you talk, they haul you away, you know.
Let's do it when I'm not in the studio.
It would go viral with both of us, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So now you get this protection on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
No different than I'm going to go back to my symptoms on my phone. If I'd have just listened to my body, listened to my phone, where it wasn't kind of charging it was, and I kind of, you know, put that little thingamajigger I put in the bottom of it. What's that called?
The charger.
The charger, yeah. It's a little thingamajigger.
Right.
And after I got done shopping in my buggy, I put the thingamajigger in there, and I had to push it a certain way, and then it would charge.
Probably something in there.
Well, you fixed it. What it was the port. I don't know if you remember this. It was a couple of years ago. I brought it in.
It was on your note.
Was on my. You see, you remember that?
I do.
It was on my note.
I may not remember names and faces,
every phone,
but I can remember devices. Well, I bartended all through college, and you might come in and your name's Frank. I couldn't tell you what your name was, but I could tell you that's a Jack and Coke, or you Miller Lite, or Crown. You know,
that gets you a lot of tips, buddy.
Well, you know, I did all right.
You know someone's face, and then you say, you know, you put it right up on the bar.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you some brownie points there. But with the phone, it was a note.
Yeah.
The original note, by the way, that everyone knows David Tulis, that I gave to David Tulis because he had a flip phone.
Right.
Flip phone. And I say, David, you've got to get a flip phone. So he got hooked then. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, here, just take a little bit of weed here. Yeah, here, snort this. And then eventually it's like, you know, everybody smokes marijuana, eventually goes to heroin, right? And LSD.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I got him hooked on the smartphone. Then he eventually said, oh, this is cool. So he's got a note now. But the point is, you fixed it. You took out the little, listen, I'm a pretty good gadget guy. Let me tell you this. I could wire just about anything. But I wasn't messing with that because it was my phone. So I brought it to someone who knew what they were doing, because like the backyard mechanic.
Sure.
Take it to someone that knows what they're doing, because you're going to bust something that's going to cost you more money anyway.
Or with the case of your phone, you got all your life's information in there. You break it beyond repair, and all of a sudden, you know, you're out all your numbers,
everything,
contacts, emails.
Everything. Yep. So you put that little thingamajigger in the charging point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's actually literally what it's called. I don't think you ordered it. You had it in stock. It was under thingamajigger.
Well, yeah, sure.
So you put the thingamajigger in there.
Yeah. She
charged right up, and I was happy. Still working to this day, 2 years later.
Well, that's good.
So the phone sucks, but it charges.
It's just old.
You know, that's what it is. It's just old. It's like, you know, when you get over 50, it's like you get cranky about everything. Like,
I wouldn't know about that.
Like, I'm cranky with my coffee because it's in this cup. And I like to drink coffee out of a cup. So once in a while, I just get, you know, when you're over 50, stuff like this gets you cranky. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're under 50, not, you know, having that nice woman on a Saturday night after you had a couple of drinks get you mad. But over 50, yeah, your standards change.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old at heart then, because there's a lot of things I could go on a rant about.
But we're talking about cell phones. That's actually what we're talking about. And if you have a cell phone that's been acting up, that's not working, that's just sitting on the side, bring it over to Cell Surgeon. in the Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Adam Disbro is there. He's the cell surgeon. These guys are incredible. They'll get it done in no time. A lot of times while you wait, right, Adam?
Most times, yeah.
And you can shop around. I'm telling you, you may save a couple of bucks. I don't think you will. We actually had a couple of people that wanted to come on the air because we were looking at doing a deal with computers, and we found out they were also fixing cell phones. How much do you charge for? Oh, we charge $140. Oh, okay. What do you guarantee? Well, the first few days, if it doesn't work, they can bring it back. Oh, okay. Who repairs it? Well, we've got a couple of guys in the back that. Well, no. Hold on a minute. So most of the time, you're doing these repairs, correct?
Either me or my staff. We do them all in front of you. If you want to watch, we'll let you. Just come in. We do it right in front of the store.
Right.
We don't take your phone to the back. We have a limited lifetime warranty on all of our repairs.
Well, and the thing is, this is all you do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, most of the other guys that I've seen, and I'm not putting them down. Yeah, I am putting them down. They suck because they do. I'm putting them down. I'm sorry. I'm from the North. That's just what we do. We say what we think. We mean what we say because they do. All I do is radio. I don't do anything. I can't change the oil in your car. I don't know how to do that.
No, me neither.
I can't fix a cell phone. I do radio. That's what I do, and I do it best. I do it better than anybody else. That's why when I'm on the air, everybody listens to me because I'm that good. No, I'm kidding. Really kidding. My ego's not that big. Used to be that good. But
you're old now. So.
I'm old now. I suck.
That's what happens.
I suck. No, but what I'm saying is when you've done something forever and ever and ever and don't stray, you're going to be good at it. So take your phone, take your precious baby that you spent $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 for, and are paying $25, $30 a month, that somebody's going to fix. I wouldn't send my phone away for free, Adam.
Right.
I'm telling you, if they say free, send it to get fixed, I would not do that. I'm going to stand there and wait for my phone to get fixed or go next door, grab a slice of pizza. We have to try to get them on the air too, by the way.
Who, Old Chicago?
Let's go Chicago, because I'm sick of plugging them for free. So, I mean, give me a pizza or something.
Good luck.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, franchises, right?
Yeah.
But, and that's another thing I have to talk to you about off the air.
Mm-hmm.
What a great name to franchise. If there were anything I was gonna do when I was retired, I'd probably want to fix cell phones.
Yeah. That can be very relaxing at times.
I mean, once you know it, right?
Yeah.
And they have these tiny, tiny little tools, these little instruments. I was watching an episode of Seinfeld where George hit a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was, his girlfriend's like, bring it to the women, bring it to the vet, bring it to the veterinarian, a squirrel. So he brings it in and he goes, well, Doc, how much is it to put it to sleep? He goes, well, we do it by the pound, about 80 cents. And he says, but, and the girlfriend, no, we need to save it. Well, we can have these tiny little tools flown in.
Flown in. I don't recall this episode.
The tiny little squirrel tools flown in. So they flew them in, they saved the squirrel. But, you have tiny little tools you work with.
It was like $2,000 to save the squirrel.
It was a lot of money to save the squirrel. And then one of the funniest parts was, once the squirrel was saved, he goes, and you'll be taking it home tomorrow. He goes, home? It's a squirrel. It doesn't have a home.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a pretty funny episode. But what got me thinking about you guys was the tiny tools.
Sure.
Because I remember how small the tools were.
Generally, that's the most thing people are amazed of, not the fact they've never seen the inside of a phone or, what goes on in it. They look and they say, how do you see those things? Like, that's the first thing. Like, I didn't even know there was a screw there.
I know, it's amazing. And they're so complicated now. I would think, and they're made by little Chinese people too. They're over there.
That most of them are made in China. Yes.
Yeah. Could you picture and I could picture this as a cool movie that when the phone opens, there's microscopic Chinese people working it, just hitting the switches and
there's been some commercials along those lines, I guess.
Yeah. But they are mostly made by one or two manufacturers.
Correct. Yes. So
it's it's easy to get the parts. It's not difficult to get them.
For most of your phones, your Apples, your Samsungs, your Motorola's, some phones are a little bit tougher. With everybody going to smartphones, you have Straight Talk and all these prepaid plans, so you're getting a smartphone now that you can buy for $49.99.
Yeah. So the cheapo phones, do you want to get those fixed?
Generally not. And we'll be honest with you. We'll look up the phone price.
Yeah.
We'll look up the part and say, hey, we can get the part, but the part and the labor is going to cost you $60, and you can go buy another one for $50.
But then again, they have all
Here's
their
your
data.
options.
They have all their data on that phone. They may want to keep that phone.
Correct. But I just want to be upfront and honest with the customer as where they're at.
Your phone number, Adam.
423-668-0100.
And your website.
thecellsurgeon.com.
I love that. I love that. You know how many clients I deal with that have these wacky websites and, John Blow, go to email / I'm like, make it simple. The cell surgeon. How much simpler can you get?
Well, I mean, some people I've done business with or tried to do business with still have AOL.com as their.
I hate AOL.
Their business email.
I hate AOL.
I didn't know they were still.
I hate them.
Existed.
If I could hate anything, it's AOL. You know why? You remember? But how old are you? Like 21?
I'll be 33 next month.
33. You're still young and know at 33. Well, you don't remember back when were you born? Like 1980?
83.
83.
Do the math. Come on now.
I don't know, man. After 50, you don't give a damn anymore.
That's your excuse.
That's my excuse. I don't care. I don't do math. And like my daughter's going into 8th grade. And
I thought you couldn't be the weird old man until after you retired. You couldn't be that cranky old freaky old man until after you were retired. That was like the standard law.
I can tell you this. My mom told me I was always old. I was never a kid.
Well, okay.
Be a kid. What are you doing? I'm building a microwave to fry the neighbor that's bugging me. But so yeah, I mean, what were we talking about? You see, I lost my train of thought.
Cell phones.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Isn't that terrible? You get to that age and you're like, what are we talking? Well, my daughter is about speaking of math. She's 13 and asked me to help her with her math, and I'm like, I can't do this. I couldn't do it. I was in school. I'm not going to do it. But my point was bringing her up was at 13, she knows these phones inside and out.
My 3-year-old niece can FaceTime. She knows who she's FaceTiming. It's insane.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was talking about. It was back in the 80s. You were born in 83.
Correct.
How much I hate AOL.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're getting old too at 33. Take some fish oil. What are you drinking there? You got vodka in there?
No.
Okay, just check
water.
it. All right, just real water. AOL was the only service.
Yeah.
And I had what was called bulletin boards in World War IV. And we'd communicate on the internet. It was been around then, yes, since the 80s, but it wasn't the internet of today. There was no World Wide Web.
Sure.
But there was the internet. It was a different protocol. So we would communicate and through AOL. And I don't feel like taking a break, so I'm just going to do this. This is Binary at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can check us out on YouTube. We are live worldwide, and watch the video replay of this wonderful show if you don't have a chance to observe it now on your smartphone or while you're driving at Hot News Talk Radio, live on TuneIn, Hot News Talk Radio. Our Twitter feed is Hot News Talk Radio. If you go to our website, hotnewstalkradio.com. It's not one of those fancy websites. I only have a splash page. And the reason for that is because in radio, you have a bunch of morons. And these morons in radio, what they do is they're driving everyone to video and to channels that compete with them. They did this in the 90s. Like, why are you sending people to a medium that's, first of all, visual, which is our competitor, that's television, and there's 10,000 other radio stations that don't play commercials. What are you doing that? You brain dead? Well, we think we can compete with anybody. You're radio. So when you go to our web page, we immediately stream, and you just minimize it. So the function of our web page is so you can listen to us, because 85% of all people listening to the radio during the day listen at work.
Right.
So go to hotnewstalkradio.com, minimize it. You can get to Twitter and our Facebook, as I call it, our Wastebook site, and other pages there. Is it true that only teenage boys and girls use Facebook? Is that true?
Not true at all.
Not true?
No.
Okay. So the rumor is Adam Disbro is saying today that rumor is not true.
I have busted your glass ceiling.
Yes, you have. But now, back to, I'm going to get finished with the AOL story.
All right.
Okay, the AOL story. They're anti-gun. They're anti-Second Amendment, right to bear arms. So as Facebook...
When I was using AOL, I was 12. I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, but I'm saying that, so they would block all of my pro-gun content. Now, what Facebook does the same thing. We do have a Facebook page on radio, but for personal, we don't do it. I don't do it. They took my photos off. They took my blasts off, my comments, and they censor you.
Right.
They're like a bunch of Marxists. They're like Bernie Sanders on steroids and Hillary on steroids. Just Marxists. They censor you. Where Twitter, I love Twitter. Over 6,000 tweets. I've done over 6,000 tweets in 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't once ever censored me, not one time. I love you, Twitter.
Generally, from what I've seen and heard and read, the only thing they're going to censor is anything that has to do with terrorism.
Yeah,
other than that,
they're
it's
great.
Wide open.
Right. So anything coming out of Washington should be censored then. And by the way, Adam from Self Surgeon, and these are my opinions, not Adam's. We just want you to go there with your cell phone because he's that darn good. That I heard Hillary screaming, and she does scream. That's why all the women hate her. You know, she sounds like me. I hate her. But she's screaming about how in San Francisco now, I guess if a woman's has a baby, she gets 6 months or 6 weeks of maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to afford that? I like the way she does that. What she get? Women deserve 6 weeks of maternity leave and equal pay and $15, $20 an hour. Why don't you make the minimum wage $1,000 an hour? The hell with 15? Make it $1,000 an hour. Why don't we just do that?
Well, I mean, then your Big Mac's going to cost $26,000.
The point is, they have no authority to do it.
Right.
You know, just like the 6. I give you no maternity. Yeah, here's your maternity leave. Leave.
Well, I guess
now, what that's going to cause is that's going to cause women not to be hired, because if I'm making tacos, okay, I have a taco stand. Am I going to hire a woman that's potentially going to get pregnant and I got to pay 6 or 8 weeks of maternity leave? Or am I going to hire, Yeko there that's doesn't have his green papers and is going to work for $5 an hour? Who do you think I'm going to hire?
Not the woman.
I'm hiring the Mexican, even though I still think we should build the wall. I'm going to hire the Mexican.
Right.
I'll help him over the wall to get into my business. But other than that, talk about being able to compete, keep all the rest out and put, my workers in. Hey, my tacos are half the price of yours. I shouldn't say that too loud because somebody could do that with Cell Surgeon too, like cell phones. Open up Cell Surgeon 2 or something.
Nah, you got to have the expertise.
Who came up with that name?
My father, actually.
Your Faja?
My Faja, yeah. He did.
Your Faja did. How did he come up with that name? Why did anybody else have it? I can't believe no one came up.
Upon further inspection, there's one in Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
before us.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
So, but I don't know. We're actually sitting at Outback Steakhouse.
That's where good ideas come from while you're reading.
We were sitting at Outback Steakhouse, me, my dad, my brother, and my mom, just talking about what we wanted to name the business. Yep. And we were bouncing stuff off, and that's what stuck. And
if you're an Italian family up north, you go around the table. Hey, what do you think, Guido? Is he taking too much money from me? Yeah. Take care of him. Okay. That's the difference from the Southern discussion of business and the Northern.
Right. Yeah.
Southern is we're sitting around the table with mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I wanted Adam to do, which he hasn't done yet, sort of, he's got the white shirt on, but I love the fact that you're the cell doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because really you are, and I would say, listen, if somebody's going to fix my finger's broken or my phone's broken, or if I had a choice and someone said, I'm going to break your finger or your phone, I'd say, break my finger.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, really. I don't want my phone broken. So that's how important you are in people's lives to fix their phones.
Sure. Now,
I can tell you this too. You're listening, you're driving down the road, or you're listening at work, that there is no one on this radio station advertises that does not do what they're supposed to do. Everyone on here is great. They either, like, prime example, Jet's Pizza is the best pizza in the world. Better than, and make sure no one's looking here. And it's just you and me saying this, better than Philadelphia pizza.
I don't know what Philadelphia pizza is.
It's great, but Jet's, I love Jet's Pizza. Jet's is the best.
Can you get Philadelphia pizza here?
Well, they claim you can.
Where?
And, I'm not going to say.
All right. All right.
But, some people claim to be. And I'd say they're second best. But I just love Jet's Pizza. Best in the world. One of our clients.
It's good.
So, see, if you hear Cell Surgeon on the air, prime example, Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. And Bruce will be on next Wednesday.
I actually talked to him this morning.
Isn't he a great guy?
He is.
He really is. He's a smart businessman to the extent that he ran a multi-million-dollar company. And he doesn't like to brag about himself. Was in textiles. Helped with a 96% success rate on franchising. He's just an all-around great guy, and he'll help you. But there's another one, Bruce Krebs. I can go on and on and on with the clients we have here. Adam, the cell surgeon, is another great client who, and I would say, if you don't get 100% satisfaction, they're not coming back.
Correct.
So if someone comes back to you and says, Adam, I'm not quite happy with this, you do what?
We're going to do everything within our power to make sure that you do leave happy. Most people, when they run a business or own a business, they take the good with the bad. When I get a upset customer, a bad review, I mean, it hurts me to the core. I lose sleep over it. I want everyone to be happy and to know that we're going to take care of and do the best that we can.
And that's proof positive that entrepreneurs are actually servants. When they ask people, what are you doing in the community to help serve the community? And while, they're getting government funding other than Salvation Army, and, people feel good about themselves, or, I help the homeless, I help the poor, I help. We help people more than anyone.
Sure.
The entrepreneur, if we don't help you, give you what you want, we are out of business.
In a heartbeat. We're
gone. Mm-hmm. We're actually public servants in a sense.
Yeah.
And we're entitled to get remuneration for that. We're entitled to be paid for that. My philosophy is those who work harder should be able to live better. If you're going to have an income tax system and a tyranny like the Internal Revenue Service and the entire federal government, it should be, and if you're going to have a progressive system, which is the second plank of the Communist Manifesto, let's follow Karl Marx, guys. Founders are rolling in their grave right now,
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Jefferson is doing cartwheels in his mosque, in his, what's that called? When you're in his tomb. But we should have a system where the more you make, the less they take, and the less you make, the more they take. How's that for an incentive? So, why would you want to penalize somebody for making more? The progressive system says we're going to penalize you if you make more. I say, let's do the opposite. You want to get someone motivated? The less you make, the more percentage-wise we take. There you go. How brilliant is that? And that'll motivate you to make more so the criminals in Washington take less. Once again, these are all my words, not Adam's. So, he doesn't necessarily agree with me on these issues. He stays neutral on politics. So whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or even a lawyer, you serve liars, right?
We do, yes.
Liars can go there. Judges can go there. But patriots, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if you're, let's say, someone that voted for Bernie Sanders, he will work on your phone.
I will.
Right?
I'll do it happily.
See, I don't think I can get into the business. Because I'd be like, okay, let me see here. The charging port is, I can do that for like $90, $100.
We do charge Alabama Crimson Tide fans more.
There you go. That's what you were thinking, right?
No, kidding. We do not. We do not.
So who do you like?
I'm a Tennessee Vol.
Okay, so if someone walks in and says, like, I'm a Vol fan, and they're like dressed in all Vol clothing, give them a discount?
Depends on the mood.
I just love that. And give you $10 off. But you do have accessories in your store. This is the cell surgeon.
We do.
And what you do with me is I'll give you a little discount on that. It's been hanging on the rack for a while.
Oh, we will. If I have product on the shelf and I can't move it and you're interested in it, make me an offer. I mean, we'll definitely work with you on something like that. All of our accessories are 10% off with a repair. We have 50% off on tempered glass every time you get something done.
And that's so smart to do that, because there's so many entrepreneurs and business people that'll just hang on to it and hang on, get rid of it.
Oh yeah, there's no sense in being on the shelf. I mean, if you paid $10 for it and you sell it for $8, that's $8 you never had. You would have just lost.
Exactly, and just sitting there, you're losing money. So
yeah,
get rid of it.
Well, shelf space and stuff. You can put more stuff on there.
Right.
Like we're authorized ballistic dealer, and if you've never heard of a ballistic case, go check it out. ballisticCase.com. It is a phenomenal product. It blows OtterBox out of the way, life proof.
Let's talk about, what is this? What are you talking about?
Ballistic cases. They are made in America.
Okay.
They're not the prettiest things in the world.
How cool is that? Can I see it?
But yeah, we'll show it there. Drop it on the floor. Throw it on the ground.
Wow. This is like a guy case, right?
No, they have. I mean, they come.
Women will do that too.
Oh yeah.
My other half needs something like this because she's always dropping her phone.
Gold and teal and red, and we used to have pink, but they discontinued it.
I may have her go and look at something like this, because
and they range from $19.99 all the way up to $39.99.
This is kind of cool. Look at this. Really solid too.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it.
I'm telling you, watch.
Don't throw it.
We're going to.
Don't do that. Oh no, he threw his phone. Oh, you didn't do that, did you?
I did.
He just threw his phone. Let me see if it's cracked. It's not cracked. Wow. That is so cool. And how much is that?
This one is $34.99.
That's cheap.
Whereas an OtterBox is going to be between $40 and $60.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've seen them at.
Now we carry
40, 50,
we
60,
carry OtterBox in the store. But all of my employees have ballistic cases on their phones. We believe in them, and I just think it's a phenomenal product.
So this junky case, I wouldn't even throw this down because it's cheap.
Well, you could. Then you can give me $160 when you get done.
The fix. You do fix iPhones.
We do, yes.
So if there's a charging port issue, you can deal with that too?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What can't you fix on the iPhone? Is there anything you can't fix?
Well, we've been seeing lately a few issues with the Wi-Fi just not working. And
I don't even realize you deal with those issues. That's more electronic internal warranty sent back.
More than likely, but we haven't been able to figure out how to fix the Wi-Fi issue. But other than that, we can do it. You drop in the water, there's a good chance we can save it. You run it over.
Oh, wait a second. How do you save it if you drop it in the water and it's not waterproof? How would you do that?
We take it apart. We put it in our solution, put it through a special process. We take every single thing out of the phone, clean if there's any corrosion in it. And then we start, put it back together. If it doesn't work, we start, maybe it needs a new screen, needs a new battery, needs a new charge port, needs a new power button. So we start trial and error to see if we can save it. And, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get your phone saved if it gets wet. But there's a good chance that we can fix it.
I'll tell you what, that's part of your new commercial right there. Because I did not realize I heard the stories, use rice.
Well, the rice is not I'm not going to say it's a bad idea. There's much better things out there that you can do. The damp dry or damp rid or whatever the stuff you put in your basement, that's going to be your best bet. Even kitty litter is better than rice. One problem with kitty litter is it gets inside the phone sometimes and it's a mess just for me. But
you need something that's going to absorb the liquid.
Correct. So the rice is not a magic trick. All it does is trying to draw the moisture out. The best thing to do is to get it to us as soon as possible because we're going to be able to open the phone. We're going to take the battery out. The problem with electronics is not the water, it's the electricity. So you mean to drop your phone without a battery in it in the pool and pull it back out, you're going to be fine. It's when you add the electricity. So some people try and plug it in. That is
a worst thing you could do.
Very bad idea. And a lot of the phones nowadays have internal batteries. So you as the consumer can't take it out.
Turn the phone off, right? Correct.
Well, yeah, but sometimes if you get it wet, you can't, the screen won't work. So you can't turn it off.
Just leave it alone?
I mean, if you can't turn it off, you need to get it in a bag of rice or you need to get it into us so that we can open it and take the battery out. The most important thing is to get the power off.
Okay.
As opposed to drying it out. That's second.
So if you don't have an Apple phone, an iPhone.
If you got a phone where you can remove the battery,
then they're most Androids.
Mm-hmm.
Get that back open, get that battery out ASAP.
Immediately.
And then get it over to put it in the bag of rice and then bring it over to Adam.
Man, that rice doesn't really.
Everybody has rice in their house.
Yeah.
Not brown rice, though. It has to be white rice, doesn't it?
No. You can use any rice.
I don't know if there's a difference with brown rice.
No, doesn't matter.
But one thing people, and I think they're in denial with this, Adam, of Cell Surgeon, is that thinking it's not going to happen. It's going to happen to you. You're going to break your phone. It's going to fall in water. You're going to drop it in the toilet. You're going to wreck your phone. Trust me. I don't care how careful you are. I've had phones since the early 80s when the first bag phone came out, the brick phone. You're going to break. I've seen people so careful with their phone, like even in here, and they lay it down. They get up for a second and they lay it on their chair. All it takes someone not to look and sit down. It's busted.
It's done.
It's busted.
Well, I will say this: with a tempered glass in this ballistic case, you're pretty good.
Okay. So you added, is that part of the case, the tempered glass, or is that extra?
It's extra.
What exactly is the tempered glass? What is that made of? And does that really, and if I say this, please don't do this because it'll freak me out. Can you really hit this thing with like a hammer and so on and so forth and not crack?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do it.
I'm not going to.
Okay. Because that will freak me out.
Well, there's internal damage that it could cause to the phone.
Yeah. Now, if you were mad at someone and we're going to hit him with a hammer, I'd be like, it's cool. Let me get my phone out.
Right.
But not the phone.
No.
Don't shoot the phone.
No.
Phone did nothing to you. It loves you. But I like the feel, too. It's nice and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to recommend these cases on Binary. This is the show at Hot News Talk Radio for everyone.
Yes.
If you want to protect your phone,
it is a
what,
phenomenal
$30? That's it?
$34.99.
That's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about the other Army cases. What are they called? The protective cases, 50, 60. Autobox. Yeah. And they're big and they're bulky. And I know you sell them, but I wouldn't have one. They're ugly. I mean, I would take this over that. See, I like something a little flatter, a little smoother.
Sure. Well, a lot of people don't like them because they are big and bulky. And they don't stick.
Will it work on my iPhone?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have them for the 6 Plus?
Oh yeah.
Really? How much?
They're a little bit more than $39.99.
How much for me? $49.99.
Yeah. $78.
$78. I'm going to come over and check it out.
Yeah.
What about do you recommend these battery packs that they now have out for the smartphones?
If you have a need for them, they're great. They are going to decrease the life of your battery, your actual battery.
I thought that because you're constantly charging the battery, you're constantly have another source.
Correct. Now, these new lithium-ion batteries, technology is advanced. It's great, but they still only have a certain number of charges on that battery. It's only going to be able to charge and decharge and charge and decharge.
Is that built into the battery? Is that like built into the technology? Is that purposely done?
I don't think it's purposely done. I think that's just how it is.
Okay. So how many charges can you normally get out of your normal smartphone battery? Average, would you say? About a year's worth, 6 months worth?
Generally, you're going to start to see a decline in your battery life after about 12 months. That's what they're designed to get at. Now, heavy users, you're going to see that. Like, I use my phone constantly.
So do I.
So I have an iPhone 6S here, and I've had it for, I don't know, I got it 3 weeks after it came out. So 6 months or so, and it's already, I can already tell a difference in my battery life now than when I did before.
What's it take to get your battery? Let's talk about the price. How much does the battery cost? And I would say it would be better to have you change the battery than the consumer, correct? I don't even know if the consumer can get into the phone.
Not if you don't know what you're doing. No,
then you bust your warranty and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But what would it cost to replace your battery and to make sure that let's talk about the cell surgeon checkup? Because I would think you need your phone checked up at least once a year, once every 6 months.
Sure.
So what's the price of that?
The battery, depending on the phone, is going to run between $30 and $70.
Okay.
To replace the phone, the battery. So generally, it's going to take 15 to 30 minutes to replace a battery.
And so what's the cost on that? Total cost?
Between 30 and 70.
I mean, that's your cost too. I mean, for you.
That's everything. That's what we're going to charge the consumer.
How do you make money? That's pretty good because batteries are not cheap. If you look online, they're $50, $60, $70. So you're going to, so for basically we'll take a medium price of about $50.
Mm-hmm.
I can get my whole battery, the battery done. You take care of the whole thing. You do the checkup.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty darn good. What's your website?
thecellsurgeon.com.
And your phone number?
423-668-0100.
Next to Old Chicago Pizza in the Northgate Mall. And I would suggest, even if you don't need your phone fixed, go by, say hi, hand them your phone, have them give the once over, let them check it out, get to know the guys.
Check us out on Facebook. We have 2 for Tuesday deals every week. We have freebie Fridays. We just give stuff away just for walking through the door every Friday.
That was my next question. On
Sure.
Facebook and your deals and discounts, where can people go?
Yeah. Basically, most of it's going to be on Facebook. Like I said, 2 for Tuesday, freebie Friday. I think today's Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday.
No, we don't have a Wacky Wednesday. I think yesterday we were doing buy one, get one half off on our charging cables. Let me pull Facebook up here.
What was that? Was that Wednesday one that was with the camel? Remember that commercial with the camel?
Yeah.
Hump Day.
Hump Day. That's what
Hump Day, yeah.
So let's see.
We should have a Wacky Wednesday.
Friday was April Fool's, so we had Mr. T on there. We were giving away car chargers and tempered glass.
Giving them away?
Yeah.
They're $20
just for walking in.
They're $20.
Mm-hmm. We want you in our store. We want you to come see us. Come say hi.
Why don't you calling us, telling us, man? We'll mention it on the radio. That's what this 11 to 12 hour is. That's why this 11 to 12 hour is so popular. This is our potpourri hour. Well, we'll talk about everything from tanks, Russell, on binary. We'll deal with apps. We have an app show here too. I don't know if you know that or not, where we just talk about the apps on your phone. That's another thing to remember too. Just an aside here. If you don't have the proper apps, you're not properly using the power of your phone. Hey, this is amazing. I downloaded another app that it's called Heart.
Mm-hmm.
That actually, I put in all the data. it read my heartbeat and said, you're going to die probably within a couple of months because you're really fat. You need to lose weight.
I don't think the app told you that.
And, no, it didn't. I made that part up. And you need to exercise, and your heart really looks crappy. So it's a cool app. It's called Heart. But these phones go way beyond just making phone calls. They are very sophisticated devices that
phone you have in your hand probably has more power than any computer under $400, $500.
Yeah. The processor is amazing, but it has a lot of sensors on it.
Yes.
I mean, you can literally take your pulse. You can do, I mean, it's an amazing device. So you need to protect it. I'm going to say with the proper case. I didn't know that case existed. I'm going to come by and check it out because I'm loving this case.
Well, once people get it on their phone, they come back and say, why are you selling these? Because we're not going to break our phone anymore. We're going to put you out of business. And I said,
why are you selling them?
Because I want the customer to be happy. If I could sell every single person in Chattanooga a ballistic case and not fix another phone again, I'd be happy.
Well, then you'd have to get into something like radio. You crazy?
Well, I'm not cut out for radio. I'd figure something out.
Wow. Well, that's why Bruce will help you with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, if I got to clean toilets to make a living, I'll do it.
This is why you have to go to Adam Disbrow. He's the surgeon, the cell surgeon, the doctor, the chief surgeon of Cell Surgeon. That's right next to Old Chicago Pizza and the Northgate Mall. Stop by and say hi. If you need anything done with your phone, I highly recommend it. And like I said, I met Adam a couple of years ago, and I can tell you, I deal with businesses all the time because I'm a gadget freak and so on and so forth. And if I think they're viable candidates, I'll say, hey, have you been on the radio? Do you want to advertise? Because I think we can share this product with our audience. That's another thing. Commercials to me are not negatives, they're positives. If they help you. When I did music radio, I would never do commercial-free hours because that would say commercials are negative. They're not negative. The only way we radio stations pay our bills, except for the losers under 92.1 FM, they're, public radio that gets government funding. That should be off the air because government's not authorized to fund radio stations or propagandize like public television. But other than
pretty sure they're authorized to give money to whoever they give it to.
Yeah, right. 92.1 and above, we commercial operators, every radio station, every radio station has a value. I love all radio. In radio, I would, obviously being a radio, I'd say, we can promote your business on the radio and talk about your business. And we want to put commercials out there to inform people to make their lives better. So if it's talking about a pizza, or we're talking about a car, or talking about where to bring your phone to get fixed, what do people normally do, Adam, if they want something done? Adam, this is Aunt Margaret. Can you tell me when's the last time you had your tires changed? Well, I get them changed all. Who does a good job with it, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
So that's what we are. We're word of mouth. So when we tell you something, we're promoting something of value to you. We're giving you something positive. Prime example, Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Now, I'm not putting down McDonald's, but I've never tried to get McDonald's on the air in this market. Not to say if they wanted to advertise, I would turn it down, but I'm saying I purposely did. Five Guys we did because it's 100% beef. I mean, come on. You watch them and you go nuts with just the smell alone. Cutting the fresh potatoes. I mean, everything about Five Guys is, if you're into hamburgers and cheeseburgers and milkshakes, they make the milkshakes from scratch.
Those are new, right? I saw a billboard for that.
Yeah. You got to try it, man.
Yeah.
What you want to try? Chocolate milkshake with bacon.
Well, give me a coupon.
With bacon.
Give me a free coupon.
Okay. I'll get you one. I'll get you one and bring it over. Chocolate milkshake with bacon. And right now we're doing a NASCAR promo. You go over and you register and tell us who's going to be first, second, and third for this upcoming Sprint Cup race. You win 124 in cash from us, Hot News Talk Radio.
If you get it right.
If you get it right. 124 in food. It's a fun contest. You're not going to want to do that, right?
Yeah.
And all you have to do is register at Five Guys Burgers and Fries in Hickson. Or go to any one in the market, but the only place we're registering is the one in Hickson. But when we put a product on here, it's like our talk show hosts. Mm-hmm. We do that because we believe that's valuable to you. Everyone that's on this radio station wants to empower you, not parties. That's the same thing with our commercials. We're not going to have, And another 10 in a row, commercial free. Well, what you're telling me is commercials are bad. Instead of saying, and I'm going to say this, and you loser program directors are going to copy me, nonstop music. That's a positive instead of saying commercial free.
Right.
Radio never wants to put commercials down. Commercials are good if you're promoting the proper product. Adam is one of these guys where we're promoting the proper product. It's going to help your life because ultimately our job is to serve you. I have a fiduciary responsibility to serve you. But in that, we still have to light the lights and pay the bills and pay people and so on and so forth. Like Adam, if it costs him $60, he may have to charge it 80 or 90 because he's got to light the lights too. And he's providing a service that has a value. And in this day and age, for some reason, people think if you're not using your hands to build something, you're of lesser value. But fixing things has a value. And there's an intellectual value in items too. So that's why I recommend that you go to Cell Surgeon to get your phone fixed, to get your phone looked over, check out the cases. Even if you just have a question, go to the Facebook site. And your Facebook site is?
Facebook.com/The Cell Surgeon.
The Cell Surgeon. Everything is like us. Hot News Talk Radio. You put in Hot News Talk Radio, you get us. Doesn't matter. You know where our biggest listenership is other than America? You're not going to believe this.
Cambodia.
China.
Really?
Our biggest listenership. You know our second biggest listenership is other than America? Russia. Because I know they're listening to us going, those crazy Americans do that. We be in jail. Yeah, they're listening going, freedom of speech. They're dying for freedom of speech. When we take it, we don't even think about it when we speak. We don't think about the idea that the privilege or right to speak in any other country, you'd be thrown in jail. In most countries, you couldn't advertise your product on the radio. Let's take Canada. Let's take these losers up north that don't even pay for their military, right? Canada, I'm talking about.
Right.
We should have invaded them a long time ago. This is my opinion on that, by the way.
No, I like Canada.
I knew you did. That's why I said that. Just busting your stones. But let's take Canada. You can't just put a radio station on in Canada. The government controls everything there, especially Quebec. You know, in Quebec.
Well, no, I don't like Quebec.
Okay. You can't advertise in English. You get fined.
That's why I don't like them.
And in the other part of Canada, let's say Ontario, you can't just throw a radio station on. You have to do so much government programming, so much of your programming. Everything is done through a microscope. We don't have that regulation here. The FCC regulates our frequency. They regulate how much power we can put out. They make sure that, you're being best served with like EAS and things of that sort, emergency services. But as far as content is concerned and what we can put on the air, they're out of it. And I've been doing this 45 years. One time has the Federal Communications Commission's come to me and said, you can't say that or say this. And I've said some radical stuff on the air. Not one single time. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's what's great about our constitutional republic. So in that, you have to feel privileged as an American that you can hear advertisements on the radio that promote something that can help you without going through a government official. By just taking my word for it. Because if you go to Cell Surgeon and they don't give you what we promised you, now what happens? You're mad at me. You're not going to listen to the radio station anymore.
Right.
So we're giving you something of value. So when you hear that ad, it's not to sell you something. It's to better your life. It's to make it easier for you in whatever you're doing. Because you're busy. You're busy doing whatever. Living your life. Doing 2 jobs. Taking care of the kids. You turn on the radio. We want to inform you. It's no more complicated than that. And that's why we recommend Cell Surgeon in the Northgate Mall for all of your phone needs. Now, you don't sell phones.
Yeah, we do.
You do, but you mainly repair them. That's your gig.
Yes.
Obviously but you're really not a retailer of phones. You can.
No, we have, on any given time, we have 10 to 15 phones.
Right. But your gig is repairing phones.
Mm-hmm. And tablets.
And listen, with the tablets, I've seen people do worse things with tablets than they do with their phones. $8,000-$9,000 tablet they just lay around. I've seen them in here on the floor. I've seen them on the chair. What? We only have about a minute left, and then you're gonna have to come back. Promise me in a couple of weeks. Okay, we're gonna come back and talk about this more. On your tablet, what is the thing that's most likely to go, and what do you need to protect?
Generally, it's just the screen's gonna break. A decent case will help you out with that.
Okay. What about let's say the charging unit? Do they have the same problems you do with the regular phones with the charger?
You do, but not very often, because they're not. When you charge the tablet, you're just generally going to lay it on the table and charge it and be done with it. People are charging their phones while they're using their phones, while they're doing. So there's a lot more things that can go wrong with the phone.
What about this new system that uses wireless charging?
It's great.
What's your feeling?
And I hope that the new iPhone will have it.
Right. And that'll alleviate the port problem, I think. Right? Okay. Any issues to look for in that with that charging system? Do you have to watch for anything? Because I would say that also works on the same principle if you have to plug something into that port.
Yeah, no. From what I've seen, it's phenomenal technology, and I can't wait till Apple does it.
Cell Surgeon, Adam Disbro, the proprietor of Cell Surgeon. You want to go there, Northgate Mall, right next to Old Chicago Pizza. Give your phone numbers and your information again, Adam.
Phone number is 423-668-0100. Check us out on Facebook at The Cell Surgeon. Our website is www.thecellsurgeon.com.
Great, Adam. We'll have you back in a couple of weeks. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. It's Hot News Talk Radio. CBS Radio News is next. And then the number one sports talk show host in the world, we've got him right here.
Expect increasing clouds and very breezy weather out there through the afternoon. Highs upper 60s.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
WSDT Sunny Daisy. Chattanooga.
Yesterday on the Herd.
Roy Williams can be a little jerky, but he's got that whole Southern thing, and he'll be like,
I'm a hell of a lot smarter about basketball than you guys are.
so why don't you just throw yourself into a dumpster and set the whole damn thing on fire?
It's pretty spot on.
A new day in the Herd starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is the Herd. The Herd. With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
Best show on radio.
This is the Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
This is the Herd. Wherever you may be, however you may be listening, we are live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Joy Taylor joining me again today. Christine Leahy back tomorrow. Joy has been unbelievably valuable for us and fantastic and fit right into the show. And how are you this morning? I want to start talking about Florida.
Okay.
I want to start because you grew up in the state of Florida, right?
No, I grew up in Pittsburgh. In Pennsylvania.
And then wisely moved south.
Yes. I lived in Florida for about 10 years.
So there was a story yesterday. It's amazing. And I lived in Florida for a couple years and had a place down in Naples, so I would go down to Florida. But it's really interesting. So the way humans work, I think it's almost like a protective mechanism. We get used to discomfort. Like once you've had a really great life or really good food, it's hard to go backwards. But most of us, and I think it's kind of a protective mechanism, you kind of talk yourself optimistically in the life you live. Even if there's something terribly uncomfortable around you. It's amazing what little children do sometimes. They have really lives full of turmoil and how kids kind of come through it and protect themselves emotionally. And I saw a story yesterday. When I lived in Florida, it was so odd. I lived in Florida, and I'd never really been to Florida. I'd been all over the West Coast. This was like 15 years ago, and I moved there for a job in Tampa. And I went golfing with a friend of mine, a wonderful human being that just passed in the last couple of months, Hubert Mizell, longtime sports writer, wonderful, wonderful man. Rest in peace. Just talked to his wife and his kid a couple of weeks ago. And so we're golfing. And as we're walking up to like the 7th or 8th hole, there's a hill. And not many hills in Florida, pretty flat. And Hubert says to me, there's an alligator around the course. And it's huge. Its name is Charles. Or maybe it was Sam, or maybe it was he's going to eat you and he's got 4 legs. Whatever its name was, he said, just if it starts chasing you, zigzag. But generally speaking, it's pretty docile.
Right. You don't run in a straight line.
Yeah, go back and forth. And I'm thinking, well, Hubert's like 55 and not very athletic. And I have no interest running for my life. It's like a Saturday afternoon. So we come over the hill, and there is a massive alligator. I've never seen one. I've seen one. I've seen him in pictures, National Geographic. I've seen him on, I don't even think we had a travel channel. I've seen him on TV. So we come over the hill, and I was paralyzed by it. I'm like you guys just play golf, and these are all over the course. He's like, yeah, they don't really bother you. And yesterday they caught a 15-foot alligator in Florida that was eating cattle. And it's amazing when you live in Florida, alligators are just part of your life.
Right.
But if I told you, hey, listen, we're going to move about 10,000 things into your community. They can be up to 15 feet long. They'll eat your animals, potentially your children, and they could kill you at any point if they're hungry. You'd be like, no, thank you. Give me the U-Haul truck. I'm moving out of town. In Florida, they had a gigantic alligator that was just eating cattle. I like steak. It would take me 6 years to eat one head of cow. Just like this thing was just for lunch, was going out and eating cattle. And if you live in Florida and you play golf, they're all over the course, but people, they just get used to giant alligators all over the place.
Well, there's give and take, there's positives to living in Florida.
Absolutely.
Like you have beautiful beaches and the sun every day.
Or
maybe you have to deal with an alligator every once in a while.
But it is remarkable about comfort and discomfort and what we all just sort of, we get used to. And I guess it's probably emotionally some protective mechanism that when we get into these bad times in our life, you get divorced, you have a tough childhood. It's amazing what your mind does to sort of protect you. And when I lived in Florida, I was always like, it's kind of amazing, right? I grew up in Washington State. Alligators like, talk to the hand, too cold. So I never dealt with any of that stuff. And in Florida yesterday, they caught a 15-foot alligator that was just eating cattle. Like cattle farmers were like, whoa, I got like 7 missing. It was Sam's lunch. And they had a picture of it hanging from a tractor. And you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, it's like a dinosaur.
Oh, it was incredible. So I want to start with this today, is that, so the Warriors lost last night. And probably not going to break the MJ Bulls record, which I think a lot of people like that record. I think we like to romanticize about sports. I think it's kind of cool that Chicago Bulls still have the record. And I think records, chasing them, I understand why teams do it. I've never been a record guy. I'm a titles guy, not a record guy. Probably why I like football more than baseball. I'm not into records and stats. I'm into winning and losing. And it's really funny, though. Draymond Green, one of the players for the Warriors, good young player, talked about the reason, and it's not an excuse to me. I think it's a reason. There's a difference between excuses in life, dog ate my homework, and reasons, our house burnt down, I couldn't get my homework done. Here's Draymond Green on the Warriors losing to a pretty average team last night.
I think right now we're just at a point where, and it's human nature, where it's like, all right, kind of ready for the regular season to end. Like, you're talking 82 games, you get bored with that after a while. So
you do. They're losing because they're bored. They're not losing because they're bad. There's a difference. I'll give you an example on why I know this to be true. Golden State's going to fly through the playoffs. They've got 9 losses this year. 7 of them are bored losses. Lakers, T-Wolves, Milwaukee, Detroit, Portland, Denver, Dallas. Now, they lost to a good Spurs team, close, on the worst shooting night of the year for them. And Boston beat them. And Boston's going to make the playoffs. And Boston's going to be a pain in the butt for the Cavaliers out east. So 2 of their 9 losses in this entire season are, hey, we competed and we lost. And here's one of the things about success. The consequence of success is boredom. Jay Leno lived in his car. Jay Leno for years working on material. But if you read the book on Jay Leno, once he became popular, Jay Leno, the act was done, was so good, so efficient, so talented, he would fly into a town, wake up, sit around all day, waiting for his 9 o'clock show. Boredom is the consequence of success and riches. Princes, princesses, entertain me. I'm in my castle. The peasant has to hunt and work for that night's dinner. Think about the word boredom. Nobody used the word boredom in 1700. They started using it in the mid-1800s, Charles Dickens. Why? Because until the Industrial Revolution, people were trying to hunt and fish and survive. That's not boring. Then there was the Industrial Revolution. People now live longer, had money, had more comfort. Then they started using the word boredom. We didn't even use it when we thought lightning was movies. When we had to hunt, then you have the revolution. Then there's money. Then there's homes. Then there's comfort. Then there's medicine. I'm bored. Even back then, 1850. And so when you look, and I say this in regards to, you've heard the old saying, it's the journey, not the destination. My first job out of college. Here's one of the things I've found in my career. My first job was in Vegas. We used to all party and drink every night. You were putting in such long hours. You were living in this with 22-year-olds, this little community of radio, TV people. You go out for beers and chicken wings every night. And the higher market you go into, you hang out by yourself. You've got more to protect. It's easier. You have a larger staff. Think about the richest people in this country. Is Bill Gates grinding? No, he does charity. Richard Branson, I'm gonna create a hot air balloon. That's for a rich guy bored. Donald Trump, golf, I think I'll run for president. Mark Cuban, I'm gonna do a TV show. I'm gonna be super fan. Elon Musk, that guy that's creating that LA to San Francisco transportation. You ever notice with rich guys, they're just bored with the current transportation. They're trying to create faster transportation. Mark Zuckerberg now will not eat anything unless he hunts it. He's gone full circle. Is that the reality if you look at society, boredom is the consequence for success. How do you get rich in America? You create a widget, then you put it on a conveyor belt, and it sells to the masses. And you sit back and piles of money. Stack. For the Cubans and the Gates and the Elon Musk and the Zuckerberg and the Tim Cook at Apple. That's what it is. It's not boring, my first job out of college. It's not boring for Jay Leno when he's 20 and trying to do material. Jerry Seinfeld now is just trying to make up stuff to fill his day. He's got $300 million in the bank. So is Michael Jordan. He's just trying to fill his day. And I think the Golden State Warriors, if you look at them, they're so efficient, so good. It's like we're just kind of sitting around waiting for the playoffs. And last night, a very talented young team in the T-Wolves, who, for the record, I think the T-Wolves are the only team in the league. They've beaten Golden State. They've beaten the Clippers, beaten Oklahoma City. They're a good young team, but Golden State's a better team and a much better team when they're on their game. So I think what you're seeing last night, I don't think it's anything more than absolute boredom by a team that is so good at its best, it's just sitting around waiting for the playoffs to happen. Our phone number is always 877-757-HERD. The other thing that I did last night, I have unbridled energy. Generally, when it comes to sleep, you shouldn't try to manipulate sleep. You know, my rule is kind of like you'll sleep what your body tells you to sleep. Some people sleep a lot. Some people don't sleep at all. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not a great sleeper, but I don't have insomnia. I try to, fire off 5.5, 6 hours a night. I'm pretty good with it. Tiny naps. Last night, I took a sleeping pill at 9. I woke up at 5:15. I got to stop doing that. I mean, I 5:50. I showed up to the morning meeting this morning. It was like I was baked. I felt like a surfer in Malibu. I was almost stoned. I was just like, the first hour of our prep today, I'm like, I don't even remember any of it. We talked a little bit about that Jay Leno story. I think there was football stuff going on. I didn't acknowledge John for 90 minutes. I got to just stop manipulating sleep. I'm not a great sleeper. I'm not great. Like some people sleep 9 hours. Some sleep 4. I'm in the middle. I've just got to be happy with that.
How often do you take sleeping pills?
Like I last night, I try to do, I always feel like in the middle of the week, I don't want to get run down, you know what I mean? Because of schedule. And I'm like, all right, let's just pop one in. For me, I feel like Chong. I almost feel stoned when I wake up because my body's telling me, dude, you're not supposed to sleep this long. You're not supposed to sleep 9 hours. You're not 11.
It's also the drugs in your system probably because you don't have a problem sleeping.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
If you have a problem sleeping, then you take one of those so you fall asleep.
I gotta
you
stop.
don't have a problem.
I have to stop manipulating my sleep. I just have to live with how much I sleep, which is okay. Half the audience listening to me sleeps worse than I do. They're not taking pills. Why am I taking pills?
I can't take sleeping pills.
All right, if you still haven't tried Tommy John, I'm telling you, I've been using it and wearing it now for a couple of years. Revolutionary men's underwear. That's why I switched a couple of years ago. They're on a mission to end male discomfort. Today I've got socks on, shirt, and underwear. Everything is held together down there softly, yet securely. All right, I'm telling you, once you slip on the Tommy Johns, you'll never go back to heat-trapping, wedgie-inducing, multi-pack underwear ever again. Check out Tommy John's complete lineup of phenomenal socks, undershirts, and underwear. Go to TommyJohn.com now. Code HERD. TommyJohn.com, code HERD, 20% off your first order. Coming up next, what you saw is what you've always seen with dominance. The Herd.
Hey there. Drain dirty deposits put on your engine, but new BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean your engine. With continual use, it can give you more miles per tank. Whoa, easy there, buddy. I'm excited too, but let's show a little restraint. That's better. New BP gasoline with Invigorate. Our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas, average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank based on fleet testing. Requires continuous use based on what you drive and how you drive.
Attention, this is a tax service announcement from Jackson Hewitt. One mistake on your taxes can cost you boatloads of money. Stop by Jackson Hewitt and a trained tax pro will dig deeper to get you 100% accuracy, maximum refund guaranteed. Plus, you may qualify to get $50 on an American Express Serve card after you file with us. Hurry to any of our 6,300 locations. Jackson Hewitt, where taxes are less taxing. Minimum tax prep fee required for $50 gift. Valid at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply for all offers. See jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is The Herd.
Where are you again?
With Colin Cowherd.
Jay Wright practices that game-winning shot at the end of every practice. After the game, listen to the kid. They didn't even call it in the huddle.
We know what play we were going to at the end of the game because we work on it every single day in practice.
Every single day.
Daniel set the screen for me because they let the ball come in, and I was going to be aggressive off the screen, and Chris did a great job of sprinting into the play, and once I heard him, I just flipped it to him. So that's definitely a part of the play.
Didn't have to call it. So if you're really doing your homework in life, success doesn't catch you off guard. Bill Belichick expected Malcolm Butler because they had worked on it. They didn't have to call it in the huddle. Jay Wright expected that play. They do it every day in practice. And in fact, later he confirmed we don't even really have to call that play. That's our play that we run.
This is The Herd.
No, you say you're down with it.
With Colin Cowherd.
What?
And the category and things that don't go together.
Football and rainforests.
Correct.
Ice cream and motor oil.
Correct.
Open government and closed doors.
Correct.
Your freedom of information under the First Amendment isn't a game. Open government works best when the people's business is truly conducted in the open. Find out more on your state's freedom of information laws and how that freedom is being threatened by visiting www.sunshineweek.org. There's a reason why the right to know is the First Amendment. www.sunshineweek.org. A public service of this station and the Radio Television News Directors Association.
If you're like most people, you've got a calendar to help you stay organized, or a day planner, or some PDA you're still figuring out how to use. And it helps keep track of the anniversaries and birthdays that our overworked brains can't remember. That way we know exactly when things will happen and how long we can put off making arrangements for them. But there are some things in life that we can't put on our calendar because we don't know when they'll happen, if at all. Like some sort of household emergency, or a disaster, or even a fire. But when it does, the time to prepare for it has already passed. So get together with your family today and prepare for the unexpected by establishing a family disaster plan with help from your local Red Cross. That way you'll all know exactly what to do in the event of an emergency. Where to go, who to call, how to help each other. But do it today so you won't get caught by surprise tomorrow. When we come together, we become part of something bigger than us all. To find out how to make your family disaster plan, visit redcross.org. The American Red Cross. Together, we can save a life.
Shriners believe that every child deserves a chance to realize their full potential. A tragic gasoline explosion left young Dan Carroll covered with burns and with a slim chance of survival. That is, until a local Shriner heard about the accident.
Almost immediately, magic started happening.
Dan was airlifted to a Shriners hospital.
The doctor said, I know you're expecting the worst, but this is a Shriners hospital. And we're the finest burn center in the world.
Without the Shriners, I wouldn't be here right now. Like, seriously.
Shriners Hospitals offer some of the world's finest orthopedic and burn medical care to kids, totally free of charge. And there's a Shriners Hospital helping kids from this area. Today, Dan is a professional jazz drummer with a bright future.
I can do whatever I want to do. There's no limitations, and they help you learn that.
If you know a child that the Shriners could help, call 1-800-237-5055. Shriners, giving help and hope to kids for over 80 years.
Listen up! We're all over your social media. How big is it? It's huge! You can find us on Twitter at Fox Sports Radio, and you can like us on Facebook.
You gotta make the right choices.
Just search Fox Sports Radio.
Shoot me, brother!
Look how easy this is.
Oh, for sure.
Follow us on Twitter at Fox Sports Radio.
That's Twitter.
Or on Facebook at Fox Sports Radio.
Wow, this place is great.
Your social media giant is right here.
We are Fox Sports!
Hi, it's the Herd. When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money.
Now back to the Herd.
77757HERD. You can always follow us, iHeartRadio. Just go to the iHeartRadio app. Takes 5 seconds. Put in the Herd 24/7 channel. Callaway changed the ball, made it even better. The new Chrome Soft is soft and fast, but now it's easier to control 100 yards in. The new Chrome Soft, we changed the ball, then made it even better. So UConn women won their 4th straight title. They're 11th under Gino Auriemma. And, a lot of you, I don't know what the rating was. A lot of people are, critical and this and that, and I'm bored with it. But this is something to think about. To me, anyway, is that the reality of what's happening to UConn women's basketball, it really is what happens in life and in society and in business and in sports. Once you get it rolling, dynasties are really defined by not only crushing people, but if you look at the history of recent dynasties in American culture and American history, they pull away from even good and very good. If you look at the UConn women, their title games, this is against the second best team in the country. They have won by 6, 19, 12, 5, 9, 22, 6, 33, 23, 10, 31. Average about 13 to 15 points. Well, Alabama football's won 4 national titles. That's football where it's harder to score, where people can tackle you. They've won by 28, 16, 21, and 5. Average margin, greater than you.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your chance to win $124 in cash and $124 in food every week with the Hot News Talk Radio 5 Guys Burgers and Fries 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest. All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries 153 in Hickson, featuring the juiciest 100% all beef, have it your way hamburgers and the most delicious milkshakes in town. Enter your guesses now at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries, Route 153 in Hickson. Then listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from 5 Guys Burgers and Fries and Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR.
Shake, shake, shake it at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries. The most delicious and unique milkshakes. How about this for delicious and different? Add freshly cooked bacon to any milkshake.
Is that even legal?
You bet your milkshake and booty it is. Chocolate caramel bacon shake. Coffee caramel shake. All hand blended. Shake, shake, shake it. Down at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries. Just about any flavor shake that you can imagine. And they are delicious. Get your shake, shake, shake on at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries. 5 Guys Burgers and Fries, located in Hickson at North Point. Gun Barrel at the Walmart Center. Downtown 4th and Broad. And in Cleveland at Keith and Stewart.
You need a place for your party or maybe a wedding reception for 100 or even more. Maybe you'd like to host a small trade show for your business, and you need a very affordable venue. Are you looking for a place for your birthday gala or services to start up a church? Look no further than the Hidden Gem in Hickson. It's an overlooked, newly appointed reception hall right here in Hickson, Tennessee. Big space, small price. That's right, big space, small price. Call Mr. Chu and ask for a tour. 316-7388. That's 423-316-7388. He'll tell you a lot more about the venue. Rent this venue today. Just call 423-316-7388 and ask for Mr. Chu.
In the middle of our street.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at SabrinaRealty.com.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral or personal guarantee. Call me at 423-875-5621 to learn more. 423-875-5621. You've been thinking about starting a business? Don't do it on your own. I have a proven track record for the last 13 years, a 96% success rate. I can guide you into a franchise where you will pay yourself through the startup phase with very low or little risk. Call me now. I'm Bruce Krebs at 423-875-5621. And make sure to listen to the Entrepreneur Hour every other Wednesday from 11 to 12 o'clock. Call me now, 875-5621.
Expect increasing clouds and very breezy weather out there through the afternoon. Highs upper 60s. Tonight, showers and storms will march in, especially early, diminishing overnight. Lows upper 40s. For Thursday, partly cloudy, breezy, mild highs upper 60s, turning much cooler late Friday through the weekend. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
We do the best quality work. We have the best customer service, the most competitive prices around.
Cell Surgeon, a painless operation to fix your sick device.
Well, if you have a cheap charger or something that's not really designed for your phone, it can mess with your battery. It can actually fry your phone. So you need to make sure you have a quality product that's going to be designed for your phone.
Cell Surgeon, your smartphone doctor's in the house at the Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
You charge it in the morning, and by noon it's at 50% under normal use. That means your battery's pretty much dead. And once you've reached that point, it starts to deteriorate.
Cell Surgeon, call 423-668-0100 or go to cellphonerepairchattanooga.com.
We do free estimates. If your phone's not working properly, bring it in. We're happy to take a look at it and diagnose it and see what we think is wrong with it at no charge. Most phone repairs can be done in 30 minutes or less.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
Don't take it in the bathroom. Don't ever put it in your back pocket. And don't charge your phone while you're sleeping.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Brown, I would be mildly surprised if Connor cooked Are you going to tell me that who gives a rip if you get a great left tackle? Who's he going to be protecting in New York? I mean, the Jets don't need a quarterback. The Jets don't need a quarterback. They need an offensive tackle. You got to be kidding me.
Well, when you see what they're paying these quarterbacks to have accomplished nothing, too, it seems really silly. Like, all these teams need quarterbacks. Why wouldn't you just draft one?
Of course.
So, ESPN is reporting that the Knicks are strongly considering keeping Kurt Rambis on as their full-time coach.
I actually feel bad for the Knicks fans.
You feel bad for the Knicks fans?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, listen, Los Angeles is full of New Yorkers. So people in Los Angeles are used to a city full of New Yorkers. But in New York, it's not full of Los Angelinos. New Yorkers take umbrage, are offended that a former Laker whiz runs their team. A former Laker player is now their coach. I think in New York, they feel like they've been invaded by the Lakers, whereas I think in Los Angeles, half this city is New Yorkers. So I think we're just sort of that. It's LA's very transient. It's not as traditional. You get to Boston, Philly, New York. Those are very traditional towns. I think Knicks fans feel like, give us our New York Knicks back. They feel like there's too much Laker influence.
Right, and not good Laker influence.
Yeah, I mean, like in Los Angeles, if you're winning, nobody would care if a former Knick was the GM and a former Knick was the coach, because in Los Angeles, everybody that's driving this town is from somewhere else. But in the East Coast, it's very traditional, very parochial, even in major New York, that I think a lot of Knicks fans feel like, can we have our Knicks back? This feels like 80% Lakers, 20% Knicks, and we don't like it.
Finally, the Lakers lost to the Clippers 103-81 Tuesday night. Kobe Bryant has 5 games left in his career, and Byron Scott is frustrated about the way his team is sending him out.
It bothers me that, his last 5, 6, 7, 8 games are going to be, with the way we playing it as a team. That bothers me, because you're talking about a champion. That bothers me because he is a champion, and I hate to see him go out this way.
Do you feel bad for Kobe?
Well, no, I don't. Stop blaming Byron Scott's basically taking shots right there. He's in a way, he's sort of taking shots at like his roster. I feel bad this way, the way we're playing. Again, the reason you're playing that way is because your front office is a mess. It's not. Don't blame the players. Blame
and a little bit of Kobe too.
A little bit of Kobe, absolutely.
Yeah.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Jay Wright stops by today. Jason Whitlock will be in house as well. 877-757-HERD. Today Mel Kiper came out with a mock draft. Here's what Mel has. I'll read this to you. So he's got Carson Wentz going to North Dakota State. That's fine. He's got Jared Goff going to San Francisco at 7, the Cal kid, which I think they have to take a quarterback. And then he's got Paxton Lynch at 15 going to the Rams, and I think that's the right pick. And they don't have any other quarterbacks being taken, but I was writing down teams today: Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, Browns, Rams, Buffalo, Jets, Denver. I don't know how you don't draft quarterbacks. I don't. It's the only position in the league that's worth more than a point. It would be like having babies and having no milk or formula in the house. I mean, seriously, it would. That's what it's like. Like if you have a baby, there's certain things you have to have in the house. You don't have to have peanuts, don't have to have cereal, you have to have formula, and you have to have milk for the baby's bones, right? So like that's, you think about New England, Joy. Think about this. So they have Tom Brady. How many years has Tom Brady started? Like 12? Like what year are we at? 12, 13, 14. So New England, and now Tom is just now moving out of his prime, and he hasn't moved much out of his prime, but physically he's out of his prime. Even with Tom Brady, put up the Patriots drafts since Tom Brady took over the franchise. They draft a quarterback every other year. Ryan Mallett, Zach Robinson, Matt Castle, Cliff Kingsbury, Rohan Davey, Kevin O'Connell, Jimmy Garoppolo. That's with Tom Brady in his prime. They draft a quarterback every other year. And it's in it, but for the record, second round, third round, fourth round. They're like valuable picks. It's not the last guy. It's not undrafted. Now, they've also, I think Brian Hoyer was like an undrafted free agent. So even in the years they don't draft him, they go get one. So that's with Tom Brady. So what do we think about the Spurs? What do we think about the Patriots? Oh, they're real smart. So the smartest team in this league, and most of us would not refute that, right? New England, with a star quarterback, every other year drafts a quarterback with a valuable pick. How in the world do the Rams not take a quarterback? And not to be cynical, but the New York Giants with Eli have drafted quarterbacks. Green Bay just drafted Brett Hundley. They've got a quarterback. So Paxton Lynch is having his pro day today. I was looking at Mel Kiper's draft this morning. They have the Jets taking offensive tackle Jermaine Ifedi. Oh, he'll be great protecting a crappy quarterback. Houston's going to draft a wide receiver, Corey Coleman. Oh, he's fantastic. Who's throwing to him? Oh, I see Shaq Lawson, Clemson, defensive end, goes to Buffalo. Fantastic. He'll have 2 sacks and a 24-7 loss. Let's see the Miami Dolphins. Oh, they're getting Darren Lee, the outside linebacker from Ohio State, going to the Dolphins. He'll have 12 tackles and a 24-13 loss. You want to win games? Joel Klatt, who does our draft and has been on these pro days, I asked him what the Broncos, Denver, should do, the Super Bowl winning champs, in the draft.
They need all the bargain that they can get at the quarterback position in order to pay Von Miller. Big money for Von Miller means what? You're going to have to pay your quarterback peanuts. Guess who that is? Kevin Hogan. And Elway and the Broncos lost to a quarterback making peanuts in the Super Bowl a few years ago with Russell Wilson. He understands it can work.
We know there's going to be about 8 guys in the first round that are a bust, right? And in a lot of instances, those first-round guys, they get inserted into a starting lineup really quickly. The one position that you can draft in the first round, and even fans understand it, that it needs a little patience, is quarterback. So if you're the Rams and you take Paxton Lynch, and I would strongly suggest that you go to YouTube today and you look up Paxton Lynch. He is big. He is mobile. He's got a little combination of Dan Marino's release and Steve Young's athletic ability. And I look at him and I think to myself, there's no pressure to start him. You can bring him in for a year. And let's say by the second year midway point, you're like, we don't think he's going to be a star. Well, then you don't advertise it and you trade him off to somebody and you get like a 6th-round pick. So to me, a third of these first-round guys are going to bust or underachieve. The one position you're allowed to take and be patient with is quarterback. And Case Keenum's good enough to win 7-8 games. So there's no pressure if you can keep him upright. He doesn't have to play next year. This season, T-Mobile customers get a free year-long MLB TV subscription, premium subscription. Sign up by April 10th to catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Sign up at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Phone number 877-757-HERD. I did watch. John, did you watch Joy last night? Raise your hand. Did anybody watch UConn women's basketball? Everybody but John. I watched an hour. I just turned it on for an hour. I don't think I watched it. It was 25-9, and I'm like, it's not very competitive. So you didn't watch any of it, and you're from Connecticut.
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, I don't watch when Ohio State plays, like, Western Michigan Tech because it's going to be a blowout.
So that's not the championship game.
Yeah.
But it's still a blowout in a sport that I don't really follow, so I just wasn't. If I had saw on the ticker that they were up 4 with 5 minutes left, I absolutely would have tuned in.
Yeah, because
they won by 30.
That's the way I am with NASCAR. Like, I don't watch NASCAR, but if there's like a Daytona 500 and I flip to it, and I'm not into cars, I'm not into fixing them, I'm not into buying them, I'm not a car guy. But if there's like 20 laps left and it's tight, I'll stick around for NASCAR. I'll watch the Daytona 500. Like, if you don't, so my natural affinity is not for NASCAR. I don't watch NASCAR. Our network has NASCAR. I don't watch it. But if I stumble into it and there's drama, it's kind of fun. Jeff Gordon, when he was in his prime and nobody liked Jeff Gordon, like Jeff Gordon was hated by the fans, and I would root for Jeff Gordon because I thought it was funny that NASCAR fans didn't like him. I would turn to it and I'd be like, I'm not into NASCAR. So John's basically saying, you don't like women's basketball much, but if it's close, you would watch it in a title game.
Yeah, I don't generally watch blowouts, and I wasn't going to, it was prove to me you're not a blowout first, and I'll tune in.
And I'll say this, think about this in the history of TV. Like Joey, you and I have worked in TV. If you look at games, the ratings increase as the game gets close. Like in a series, like I said, the NBA finals, you'll have the first 5 days of the games, they'll all have the same rating. The same people are watching. And then in like a deciding game, like the number goes up 25%.
Because people like drama.
That's the whole point, is that college basketball, UConn's giving you no drama. So unless you have a natural affinity to watch women's basketball, you're not going to get that 20 to 25% push from casual fans with women's basketball or NASCAR if one guy's winning the races by 15 laps. And so there is not a natural huge audience for women's basketball. The domination in this is also killing the casual fan who the game's over. I mean, I turned it on and it was 25-9, and I stuck around for an hour because I like Gino and I like what they do, and I think they're really well coached. But my John's natural. A lot of people, like my buddies, they just don't watch women's basketball.
Yeah, I watched the first half because I was like, let me see if this is going to be close and competitive. But by halftime, I'm like, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, people say it hurts. The ratings show you that it's not helping or hurting. UConn's dominance isn't doing really anything. UConn's dominance, if the games were 1-point games, now then it would help because there's real drama. But I will say this, Alabama right now is dominating college football. The ratings are not great for those championship games. Clemson, Alabama, the rating was like a 16. That's not great. USC, Alabama got a 22. A championship, if you look at what the rating should be for a championship game in America, the Super Bowl should be a 50. It's hitting it. College football should be a 18 to a 20. It's not hitting it because Alabama's too dominant. I don't even know what the number is for women's basketball. I would say NBA finals. Generally in the history of the league, if you have a reasonably interesting final, you get a 10-5 in the first 4 or 5 games. Then you pop in the deciding game, and it ends up being a 12. But let's be honest. For if LeBron's not in the finals right now, it's under that. If LeBron's in the finals, half the country loves him, half the country roots against him. So I think what's happening is dynasty. You know, we were talking about this morning. I prefer professional sports dynasties over collegiate dynasties. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you why on the other side. I've always preferred a professional dynasty to a college dynasty. 877-757-HERD in Los Angeles, the Herd.
Attention, this is a tax service announcement from Jackson Hewitt. Is your tax refund as big as it could be? Stop by Jackson Hewitt and a trained tax pro will dig deeper to get you 100% accuracy, maximum refund guaranteed for prices as low as $48. Hurry to any of our 6,300 Jackson Hewitt locations, including 3,000 in Walmart stores. Jackson Hewitt, where taxes are less taxing. Valid at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid on tax preparation fees only and on no other product or service. See jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Sometimes it's about more than a title. Sometimes it's about more than pride. It's that little voice inside your head that says, we have to finish this. You will commit to overcome pain and fear.
You can't handle your speed, son. We are firemen. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat.
To prove once and for all, you're the best. Pacquiao versus Bradley, Saturday, April 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Live on pay-per-view.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is The Herd.
Where are you again?
With Colin Cowherd.
You're going to hear about a story that breaks in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and you're going to see it during the NBA playoffs. Folks, I'm telling you right now, something with this Cleveland LeBron team, it ain't right. And there is growing discussion about how unhappy LeBron is. And I'm telling you, it is happening from people who inside the organization know LeBron is not happy. And because of the contracts, that team is limited on how much better they can get. I am here to tell you, LeBron is tired of Gilbert. He doesn't like the front office. I'm telling you, this comes from people I trust. There is a growing sentiment in the NBA that LeBron is at his wit's end.
This is The Herd.
No, you say you're down with it.
With Colin Cowherd.
What?
NASCAR champion Bobby Labonte here with my brother Terry and my nephew Justin. You know, every sport has its essential safety gear.
For racing, we wear helmets, fire-retardant suits, and Nooganomics gloves.
For fishing, waterfowl hunting, and boating, we wear life jackets.
After an intense race, there's nothing more relaxing than bass fishing.
Or a little duck hunting on the lake.
But we're the first ones to tell you, on the track or on the water, accidents happen fast.
In a crash, there's no time to put on a helmet. And when a boater capsizes or is thrown from the boat, there's rarely time to reach a stowed life jacket.
But today's life jackets are lightweight and comfortable. Fishing or hunting, they don't get in your way.
That's why you won't catch a Labonte on the water without a life jacket.
Don't let us catch you either. Remember, you're in command. Boat safely.
This message brought to you by the United States Coast Guard. For more information on boating safety, visit www.uscgboating.org.
As one of the over 3 million healthcare professionals in America, do you worry about not communicating effectively with some patients?
May I help you?
Could differences in language and culture maybe mean you need to explain why a medicine or medical treatment is necessary?
Hey, you're right on time.
Being understood and accepted by people of different cultures and backgrounds is still a challenge. For example, Mrs. Hernandez, a 66-year-old Latina whose doctor recommends a mammogram.
The radiologist will be with you shortly.
Raised to think cancer always means death, she may skip the test and not even want to know. But her doctor understands family is important to Latino culture and points out that a mammogram could save her life so she could care for her family.
That wasn't so bad now, was it?
Millions of public health professionals face problems like this every day. For the latest research on these new healthcare communications challenges, the book Speaking of Health is free online at nap.edu, a free resource for any health professional looking to better serve the public. Speaking of Health at nap.edu. Are you thinking about moving but not sure where to start? Why not rely on a brand that you've trusted your entire life and do what millions of Americans do every day? Log on to USPS.com. Francia Smith, consumer advocate of the United States Postal Service.
Did you know that you can file your change of address online at USPS.com? More and more Americans are logging on to help manage their busy lives. Moving a household is never easy, but you may be surprised how simple it can be to create a customized timeline that will guide you through every step of the move. Convenient tips and tools make the job as easy as possible, like packing tips to protect your valuables and fun ideas to make things easy on children and pets. You can even switch utilities, order newspaper delivery, or rent a truck. But don't wait until the last minute. Experts recommend that you start planning your move at least 2 months ahead to make it easy as possible. So log on now to USPS.com. It's one of the best moves you can make.
This message is provided as a public service by this station and the U.S. Postal Service.
You name the platform, and chances are the Herd with Colin Cowherd is owning it.
It's about the operations.
Social.
1.
Television.
2.
Podcast.
3.
iHeart.
4.
iHeartRadio, I'm on there listening to you every day.
And of course, your station. Nearly 20 million people can't be wrong, and that's only within a month.
Oh my God!
It's the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Hi, it's the Herd. When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money.
Now back to the Herd.
When it comes to student debt, the struggle's real, man. Here's a company that can help, SoFi.com. Consolidate all your student loans. On average, save you $19,000. I could stop reading the ad right there. You want to save $19,000 on your college debt, consolidated loans? I think you do. And once you become a member of SoFi.com, SoFi.com, they have also career services, member happy hours, unemployment protection, and you get $100 just for refinancing your loans at SoFi.com/Colin. That's SoFi.com/Colin. Let them know I sent you. I was saying this, UConn women have a dynasty right now. And the two things I'd like to say to defend UConn women, and this isn't PC, bro, it's every dynasty from Tiger Woods to John Wooden to Troy Aikman's Cowboys to Alabama, they all get dominant. They destroy people. Go look at the average margin for the 49ers with Montana and Young, with Troy Aikman's Cowboys, with Nick Saban's current Crimson Tide, with John Wooden's UCLA Bruins, and UConn women. They're all blowouts. So this idea they got no competition. UConn women are what a great dynasty is. Who's Alabama's competition? Hell, they're favored again next year to win it. And they have to replace their quarterback. And most of their front seven, they're favored again. So the first thing I will say to defend UConn women's basketball is all dynasties that are truly all-time dynasties, and this is one, Wooden's one, they all blow the people out, even in championship games. This Alabama dynasty is an all-time dynasty. Here's the other thing I'll say to defend UConn women's basketball. I find Alabama's dynasty completely boring. So if you say UConn women's basketball is boring, I say Alabama's boring. Do you know why? There's only two or three exceptions where college dynasties are fun. USC football, Miami Hurricane football, Kentucky basketball. Why? Because they feel like they're half college and half pro. Kentucky feels like it is a college program and a pro program. USC football, Miami Hurricane football feel collegiate. Go to a practice. Snoop Dogg, rappers, agents, hip-hop stars, bankers. Other than that, college dynasties, to me, are more boring than professional dynasties. In fact, I would say, name the two professional dynasties that we kind of think are boring. The Patriots and the Spurs. Why? because you have suppressive coaches. The coaches are boring. Athletes aren't. I mean, coaches are all boring, right? Athletes aren't boring. Kobe in his prime wasn't boring. Michael Jackson writing Thriller's not boring. The executive at Sony, boring. Suits are boring. Stars, artists, athletes aren't boring. We don't turn the game on for a suit. When I worked at ESPN, you didn't turn it on because the guy in the corner office. You like Skip Bayless. You like Bill Simmons. So college dynasties, Geno at UConn, Nick at Alabama, have a suppressive coach. College dynasties are overwhelmingly, you don't remember UCLA's players, you talk about Wooden. You don't know a starter for Alabama next year unless you live in the South. You know Saban. You can't name 5 players for UConn. You know Geno. College dynasties are about the coach, and coaches are boring. And college coaches tend to be suppressing personality. Nick Saban doesn't allow you to have personality. Geno doesn't allow you to have much personality. In the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball, it's different. Professional dynasties, you look back at those Niner teams, you don't talk about Bill Walsh. You talk about Joe Montana. You don't talk about Jimmy Johnson. You talk about Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. You don't talk about the coach in a pro dynasty. You talk about Shaq and Kobe. We know Phil's good, but Phil won with MJ. You don't talk about Phil in Chicago. You talk about MJ and Pippen. You talk about Kobe and Shaq. So professional dynasties are about the performer, which is why you pay the money. You've never paid money to go watch a coach. So I find to support UConn women who are getting bashed, I find Alabama's dynasty boring. The players are college dynasties are about the factory. Pro dynasties are about the workers. When you drive to a factory, do you say, I love that factory? No. You drive to that factory, you're like, I love that guy next to me on the line. You fall in love with people. You don't fall in love with buildings. And college dynasties are all about the building. They're all about the factory. Alabama football was good before Nick. They'll be good after Nick. I mean, Tom Brady leaves the Patriots. They're not going to be the same team. You're not going to be getting to these AFC championships every year. Shaq leaves the Lakers. Kobe's leaving. You're not going to win a title for another decade. So I prefer professional dynasties. It's about the artist and the expression and the talent, not the suit and the factory and the kind of suppressive leader. I'm not into that stuff. I've never once in my life paid a ticket to watch a coach. Have you? Have you ever gone to a Giants game in New York and thought, what are you paying to watch? Coughlin. I'm paying to watch Eli, Odell, Victor Cruz, that DB I like. In fact, I would say this. This is why I've said this before. Alabama's ratings right now, they're not helping college football. It's gotten too regional. It's the rating last year for Alabama was like a 16. That stinks. That's not a good rating for a national championship college football. USC Texas got a 22. Why? Because USC and Texas are glamorous. That's why I've always said college football, if you told me that college football needed 4 teams to be better and get ratings, they would be Miami Hurricanes, Texas, Notre Dame, and USC. Not even Ohio State, which is great. That's why Harbaugh is so great, because Harbaugh is big and expressive and wild and crazy. And now he's a little bit of a dictator like all these college coaches are, but he's a star. Like USC and Miami, even today, if I say USC, if I say the Miami Hurricanes today, you don't tell me a coach. They had 5 of them. You're like Michael Irvin, Warren Sapp, Cortez Kennedy, Edgerrin James, Ray Lewis. If I say Miami Hurricanes, you don't name coaches. If I say USC, you know about Pete Carroll, but you know about Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Lendale White and all those linebackers and Clay Matthews. So that it's a rare instance when a college dynasty, you even mention the athlete. It's always the coach. And the exceptions are USC, Miami football. Glamorous cities, big market media, agents everywhere, endorsements. So I guess what I'm saying today with UConn, that it's boring. I would say Alabama's boring. We're going to look back at Alabama in 20 years. You're not going to be able to even name the quarterbacks. It's just every Alabama team's the exact same. A power running back, 1-star perimeter receiver, a non-NFL quarterback talent, and a suffocating front seven defensively. and a power running. I mean, it's the same team every year. The secondaries are hit and miss. The receivers can be kind of hit and miss. The offensive line, generally good, not always great. Power running back, faceless quarterback, star perimeter receiver, suffocating front seven. And they run downhill. I mean, I don't think it's good for the sport. I think it's boring. So you're tagging UConn women's basketball is boring. I think Alabama's boring. It's nothing against Alabama, but college dynasties bore me. They always have. Except the Miami Hurricanes and USC and Texas. Those were fun, glamorous cities, glamour programs. Phone number is 877-757-HERD. Jason Whitlock's around the corner. I'm 3 weeks from the draft. I'm already dialing in, and my big wrap my arm around it topic is you have to get quarterbacks. Minimum 3, probably 4 in the first round. It's the hurt. Tackle the toughest cleaning challenges in your garage with a new all-purpose cleaner and degreaser from Gunk, makers of the toughest cleaners on the planet. Gunk all-purpose cleaner and degreaser is formulated to deliver the powerful degreasing punch you need to cut through dirt, oil, and grease on any surface in your garage, even plastic and aluminum. Pick up the new Gunk all-purpose cleaner and degreaser today at Advance Auto Parts. The new all-purpose cleaner and degreaser from Gunk. Your garage won't know what hit it.
Attention, this is a tax service announcement from Jackson Hewitt. One mistake on your taxes can cost you boatloads of money. Stop by Jackson Hewitt and a trained tax pro will dig deeper to get you 100% accuracy, maximum refund guaranteed. Plus, you may qualify to get $50 on an American Express Serve card after you file with us. Hurry to any of our 6,300 locations. Jackson Hewitt, where taxes are less taxing. Minimum tax prep fee required for $50 gift. Valid at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply for all offers. See jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Sometimes it's about more than a title. Sometimes it's about more than pride. It's that little voice inside your head that says, we have to finish this. You will commit to overcome pain and fear.
You can't handle your speed, son. We are firemen. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat.
To prove once and for all, you're the best. Pacquiao versus Bradley, Saturday, April 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Live on pay-per-view.
Hey, it's Richard Sherman, all-pro cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. When the little voice in my stomach gets hungry, he talks mad trash like, I don't want these weak snacks. Get me all-natural Alberto beef jerky. So I grabbed the most delicious lean protein on the planet, Alberto beef jerky. It's loaded with savory cuts of lean beef. Listen to the little voice in your stomach and pick up some all-natural Alberto beef jerky.
Alberto beef jerky. You get out what you put in.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
We do the best quality work. We have the best customer service, the most competitive prices around.
Cell Surgeon, a painless operation to fix your sick device.
Well, if you have a cheap charger or something that's not really designed for your phone, it can mess with your battery. It can actually fry your phone. So you need to make sure you have a quality product that's going to be designed for your phone.
Cell Surgeon, your smartphone doctor's in the house at the Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
If you charge it in the morning and, by noon, it's at, 50% under normal use, that means your battery's pretty much dead. And once you've reached that point, it starts to deteriorate.
Cell Surgeon, call 423-668-0100 or go to cellphonerepairchattanooga.com.
We do free estimates. If your phone's not working properly, bring it in when we're happy to take a look at it and diagnose it and see what we think is wrong with it at no charge. Most phone repairs can be done in 30 minutes or less.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
Don't take it in the bathroom. Don't ever put it in your back pocket. And don't charge your phone while you're sleeping.
Expect increasing clouds and very breezy weather out there through the afternoon. Highs upper 60s. Tonight, showers and storms will march in, especially early, diminishing overnight. Lows upper 40s. For Thursday, partly cloudy, breezy, mild highs upper 60s, turning much cooler late Friday through the weekend. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Shake, shake, shake it at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. The most delicious and unique milkshakes. How about this for delicious and different? Add freshly cooked bacon to any milkshake.
Is that even legal?
You bet your milkshake and booty it is. Chocolate caramel bacon shake. coffee caramel shake. All hand blended. Shake, shake, shake it. Down at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Just about any flavor shake that you can imagine. And they are delicious. Get your shake, shake, shake on at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Five Guys Burgers and Fries, located in Hickson at North Point. Gun Barrel at the Walmart Center. Downtown 4th and Broad. And in Cleveland at Keith and Stewart.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Our house in the middle of our street.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at SabrinaRealty.com.
Our house in the middle of our street.
AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your chance to win $124 in cash and $124 in food every week with the Hot News Talk Radio Five Guys Burgers and Fries 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest. All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at Five Guys Burgers and Fries 153 in Hickson, featuring the juiciest 100% all beef, have it your way hamburgers and the most delicious milkshakes in town. Enter your guesses now at Five Guys Burgers and Fries, Route 153 in Hickson. Then listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from Five Guys Burgers and Fries and Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station. Hot News Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR. You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
WSDT Sunny Daisy, Chattanooga.
Last hour on the Herd.
Golden State's going to fly through the playoff. They've got 9 losses this year. 7 of them are board losses. The consequence of success is boredom. They're so efficient, so good, it's like we're just kind of sitting around waiting for the playoffs.
There's more to come right now in the Herd.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is the Herd. The Herd. With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
This show on radio. This is the Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
This is the Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we're live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. As always, Joy Taylor, new member of the FS1 team, is joining us. It is great to be here. We talked about alligators in the first hour. They captured a 15-foot alligator in Florida that was eating cattle, and they got a picture of it. And I said when I lived in Florida, it was amazing to me as a kid who grew up in the Pacific Northwest that people just lived their lives. They put screens on their pools. They would go golfing, and you'd see these massive, massive alligators. Yesterday, they caught a 15-foot alligator. Now, you look at the size of this alligator being held up by the tractor. To give you some perspective, see that picture right there? That picture right there? You think that's a little boy? That's Dirk Nowitzki as a 7-footer. That's Dirk Nowitzki right there on that alligator.
Did you ever see the alligator wrestling? Did you ever go see that?
Yes, I did. No, I didn't see alligator wrestling. I've done the hovercraft thing where I see an alligator up close.
Oh, on the Everglades.
Yeah, in the Everglades.
Did you ever see them actually open the alligator's mouth?
No. I'm not.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen them do it. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is just unbelievable. There's a thing called Alligator Alley, and you drive from one side of Florida to the other. It's flat. It's like 2-hour drive for me anyway. I drove pretty fast. There's almost no cops. You just go for 2 hours, and they call it Alligator Alley because alligators will go across the freeway. I've never seen one, but I don't even.
Never drove past one of the ditches and seen.
No,
there will be times where there are dozens of alligators just sitting there.
You would never move to a community if you were told, listen, there's just these 15-foot things that can eat heads of state. They can eat cattle. They can eat humans. But then when you're in Florida, you live amongst it. It's like people complain about earthquakes in California. I said, I'm moving to California. Ooh, they get earthquakes. Yeah, Hawaii gets volcanoes. I get 75 degrees a day. What do you get in
Florida
Ohio?
gets hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, every state's got something. I'll take the once-a-decade earthquake over horrible weather for 7 months a year. Florida's a great state. It's got gigantic alligators eating people, like all the time, like just eating cattle, eating kids, eating dogs, eating cats. It's just part of the structure of Florida. It's part of its fabric. It's fine, I guess. That thing is massive.
You make it seem like they're just roaming the streets. Like,
Sometimes they are. You see them in dress shoes walking down the street. They're just so, I was saying this about I prefer professional dynasties over college dynasties because I've never fallen in love with a factory. I've never fallen in love with a conveyor belt. I've never fallen in love with a building. I've fallen in love with people and music and artists. And professional sports is more expressive. That's why I like the NBA over college basketball. The NBA is about the player. College is about the old coach. I've never paid a ticket to watch a coach. I like college and pro football, but I prefer the NFL. The NFL, it's about Gronk and Brady. When I think about the dynasty at Ohio State and Woody Hayes, I don't think about players outside of Archie Griffin. It's about Woody Hayes. When I think about Michigan, the dominance, I don't think about players. I think about Bo Schembechler. Generally speaking, the only exceptions in college to that rule is like the Miami Hurricanes or USC. Glamour cities where players are allowed to be a little more expressive and are naturally a little more expressive in coastal cities.
well, it's what you mentioned earlier. People like drama. And when you have when you have the ability for the players in college to be personalities, that's drama. That's something to get sucked into. It's something to hate.
Well, listen, yes. Here's a prime example. We look at research on what people like to watch. For instance, college basketball fans, on average, are older than NBA fans. Now, why would that be? Because older Americans like the old coach dominating those young kids. That's why college basketball, ask yourself, college basketball fan, you're over 55. College basketball and college football fans are older than NFL and NBA fans because older Americans get more rigid and they like control. And so they like watching the dominating coach tell the kids what to do. And in the NBA, it's a players' league. And I've never once in my life paid a ticket to watch a coach. So I am much more of an NFL fan over college. Didn't used to be that way, but as I've aged, I've just found it more expressive. I'm an NBA fan. It's one of the reasons I've criticized baseball. I don't know what has happened to baseball. I grew up with baseball, the sport I fell in love with as a kid. Reggie Jackson had an ego. Al Roboski was screaming at batters. Mark Fidrich was talking to the mound. Ozzie Smith was doing cartwheels. Pete Rose was a trash talker, running over people at all-star games. Now, a half-second bat flip, and people want new legislation. They're arguing over slides. Go look up the 90s fight between the Padres and the Braves. That thing was ugly, and I'm not just talking the uniforms. I mean, it's like baseball's gotten more and more and more rigid while the sport is accepting players from countries that are more celebratory. That's why you have this conflict. It's become a more global game, people from different cultures that have celebratory natures and history. Yet the sport's getting more rigid, more rigid, more rigid, which turns me off. I mean, people are banging on UConn. I would say almost all college dynasties have been dominated by the coach, and I'm not into it. Matt in Jersey, you're in the herd, buddy. Thanks for calling and holding. Fire away.
Certainly. Hey, Colin, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Great. I know you've gotten off on a couple different tangents with regard to pro and college and so forth, but the one aspect that I would tend to disagree with you on is with regard to college sport, athletics, college sports, and let's call it specifically football in this instance. And let's use Columbus, Ohio as an example.
Yeah.
Which sits in the middle of a few different baseball, professional baseball,
Right.
professional basketball. But the fact of the matter is that people that have grown up with college football in part of their community do have a romantic relationship with their school and the following of the players that come through. So,
but you're talking about. You have to remember, Matt. First of all, Ohio's a state of losers in pro sports. Ohio State's the only consistent winner. So if the Indians, by the way, were the Yankees and the Cavaliers were the Lakers, Ohio State wouldn't dominate that region. That region's just nothing but losers, except Ohio State, which is a historic juggernaut.
If I may, though, you're looking at it sort of from the ivory tower of sports in general. But the fact of the matter is that sports in America is very much part of different communities. College towns, for the most part, have college sports.
Right.
They don't have pro sports.
That's right.
So they definitely have relationships with the players, the student athletes that they watch grow from freshman through senior year. For example, at Ohio State, they recall Rex Kern, they recall Randy Gradishar, Chris Spielman, and the teams that they've played with, and they clearly have romantic.
But that's a micro, Matt. That's a micro level in that community, that tiny community, on a micro level. Yes, those small towns fall in love. But I'm talking when you're a network. I'm a syndicated host. When you're talking in a country of 330 million people, we know that pro sports get better ratings than college sports. Major League Baseball beats college. NHL beats college. NBA beats college. NFL beats college. And the reason on a macro level, because professional dynasties in sports allow athletes to be expressive and fun, and they get endorsements. College sports is overwhelmingly suppressive, and that plays on a micro level, especially with older Americans where the daunting 65-year-old coach tells the young running back what to do. But on a macro level, professional sports crush college sports. Because professional sports are big cities and big stars and big coasts and big glamour and big endorsements, and the athlete runs the dynasty. In college, the dynasty is all about the coach. Who pays to watch a coach? So to me, like Alabama's dynasty is just, it's not that fun to me unless you're from, even in the South. It's love-hate. But I mean, one state wins there. Half the state doesn't even like Alabama. They like Auburn. The ratings for these national championships in college football are not great considering how great the team is. If the Dallas Cowboys had a dynasty right now in the NFL, the Super Bowl would be at a 60 rating. You'd have 200 million people watching. That's why whenever you have a professional dynasty, the ratings go through the roof. When you have a college dynasty, they don't. UConn women are not helping the ratings. Alabama's not helping the ratings. College dynasties don't help television ratings. If the Yankees were dominating right now, you got to be kidding me. If there's very few exceptions to that rule. Now, you can have a professional dynasty that's boring like San Antonio, or you can have a college dynasty like the Miami Hurricanes that's wildly exciting. But by and large, these college dynasties, college football and women's basketball, you got dynasties, not helping the sport. I would say it's regionalizing the sport. Syracuse, UConn women last night, who cared about that outside of two states? It's because Alabama, Clemson, outside of the South, the numbers weren't very good. They weren't. I'm not making it up. They just weren't. Let's go to Brian in New York. Getting a lot of New York calls. Love that. Love that. 877-757-8GRD. Brian, fire away.
Hey, Colin, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I was listening to you and agreeing with your premise, pro over college every day of the week. But then you tapped right into my wheelhouse. You said you don't go to New York to watch Tom Coughlin. You go to watch Eli and Odell. And as you said that, I was Googling and reading an article about Tom Coughlin. And that's the way that I've watched the Giants the past decade. As a man growing out of his 30s and approaching his 40s, it was Coughlin that I associated with more. He's the one who I watched every Wednesday do press. He's the one who I kind of watched on the sidelines on Wednesday. So as I kind of grew past the age of hanging the player's poster on my wall, Coughlin for me was more the face of the Giants than Eli was. And now that Coughlin's no longer in the picture, I'm finding myself less excited about the season and a little bit disinterested about coming back. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there to you, that I, as an older fan heading towards my 40s, it is that coach and that executive and that guy on the sideline I associate with more, because if I was in the role of a football team, That's where I'd be. I'd be on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, Brian, you're touching on it's kind of it's an interesting point. Being as we age, we have more appreciation for the older people we relate to in an organization. I mean, I still, when I turn on the Giants, I'm looking for Odell Beckham and Eli. I hope they have the football. I don't like watching their defense. You know, since Lawrence Taylor left, I'm not into their defense. Since Strahan left, I'm not into their defense. But I to me, I guess my whole point here, Joy, has kind of been like I think sports should be expressive. And the thing where college and pro are different, and for the record, it's not that my way's right. It's just that it is. That pro dynasties spike the ratings. College dynasties don't as often. There are exceptions. USC dominating would spike the ratings because it's a glamour city with glamour recruits. It's an expressive city where Reggie Bush was allowed to go on television. I mean, Alabama, Nick Saban didn't want those guys near a TV. He didn't want those guys near a television. Miami Hurricane guys, they were hanging out with hip-hop stars. It was 2 Live Crew and all the Miami game, and it was okay. Everybody was okay with it on the coasts, on the big glamorous cities that are used to that. 877-757-HERD. Coming up next, just an example. Jason Whitlock's around the corner, Joy. An example of this is such bad news for the Lakers. But and I'm not trying to pound on them, but something happened last night, which is just another indication of how sometimes it's where you're born. Sometimes it's just the division you're in. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get really unlucky with your timing and placement in life. Hey, let's talk money. Truth is, sometimes you can work hard, but you fall into a little bit of a hole. And there's a company out there called Avant Offer, AVANT, Avant Offer, from $1,000 to $35,000 loans. Could be a car payment. It could be a college loan. You could owe how many times do you your car breaks down? 2,700, new transmission. $1,000 to $35,000 loans. Go to avantoffer.com. Check your competitive rate. Will not screw with your FICO score. Can do it in minutes. And they'll give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. So go to AVANT, avantoffer.com, and enter my name in the promo code HERD. Avantoffer.com, promo code HERD. Loans made by Web Bank in your bank the next day. Other restrictions apply. See website for details. It's the HERD.
Do you know what the road has in store for you today? Of course you don't. Nobody does. But thankfully, you can still prepare for it with Hum by Verizon, the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. So if you're on the road and get a flat, you'll have pinpoint roadside assistance at the push of a button. If you hear something funny going on in your engine, you'll have vehicle diagnostics to help you understand what's wrong. And if your teen is going out solo, bye, Mom, you can stay connected with speed alerts if they're going too fast and boundary alerts if they go too far. And maybe you've seen that all before, but with Hum, you can get it all in one place. Hum by Verizon. Put some smarts in your car. Right now, you can get all that for $10 a month with a 2-year service agreement plus taxes, fees, and equipment charges. Visit hum.com or your local Verizon store to learn more. $20 activation and $50 equipment charge per device. $120 early termination applies. Subject to credit review. Roadside assistance provided by Signature Motor Club Inc. Up to 4 events per year. Not available in all locations. Compatible vehicle model restrictions and other terms apply.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is the HERD.
Where are you again?
With Colin Cowherd.
Jay Wright practices that game-winning shot at the end of every practice. After the game, listen to the kid. They didn't even call it in the huddle.
We know what play we were going to at the end of the game because we work on it every single day in practice.
Every single day.
Daniel set the screen for me because they let the ball come in, and I was going to be aggressive off the screen, and Chris did a great job of sprinting into the play, and once I heard him, I just flipped it to him. So that's definitely a part of the play.
Didn't have to call it. So if you're really doing your homework in life, success doesn't catch you off guard. Bill Belichick expected Malcolm Butler because they had worked on it. They didn't have to call it in the huddle. Jay Wright expected that play. They do it every day in practice. And in fact, later he confirmed we don't even really have to call that play. That's our play that we run.
This is the HERD.
No, you say you're down with it.
With Colin Cowherd.
What?
You put your keys between your knuckles. You walk in well-lit areas. Stay clear of parked vans. Someone approaches you and you cross to the other side of the street. Your cell phone is ready. The numbers for help saved on speed dial. You lock the door behind you. Once, twice, maybe 3 times. Now you feel safe, secure. You think you've made the right choices to protect yourself. Think again. Because if you're not making healthy choices, you could be one of the nearly 2 out of 3 women killed by cancer, diabetes, heart disease, or stroke. So eat right, get active, don't smoke, see your doctor, and live. Learn to protect yourself from yourself at 1-866-399-6789 or visit us at everydaychoices.org. A message from the American Cancer Society, American Diabetes Association, American Heart Association, and the Ad Council.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help, not just one, but all these things. Earthshare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
This ad sponsored by Ad Council and Earthshare.
Every time I look at Nathan,
Hi, Mommy!
I think to myself, what an amazing child he is.
Mommy, look at me!
He's so happy, so energetic, and always ready to go.
I'm a cowboy, Mom!
I see you, baby. Nathan, keep riding. He is such a gift.
Back and Mommy, go!
And that silly smile of his.
Go, Pussy, go!
The sparkle in his eyes.
I love this ride!
And oh yeah, he was adopted. To all those who give birth to, homes to, or just give thought to people adopted as infants, thanks for considering adoption.
There's my baby. Come here, cowboy. Give me a hug.
Brought to you by the Infant Adoption Awareness Training Program of the National Council for Adoption.
You ever sit back and think, man, those guys at Fox are having fun?
Crazy for fun. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, we are. From our jokes.
What do you call a singing laptop? A Dell.
To the topics that make you go, what the?
Are you kidding me?
The fun we have is all for you.
Fun.
On Fox Sports Radio. What's good? What? This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd, broadcasting live from Los Angeles.
We'd just like to say thank you. The response has been overwhelming. It's been amazing, and people don't say that enough in our business.
And we're back now.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your chance to win $124 in cash and $124 in food every week with the Hot News Talk Radio 5 Guys Burgers and Fries 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest. All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries, 153 in Hickson, featuring the juiciest 100% all beef, have it your way hamburgers and the most delicious milkshakes in town. Enter your guesses now at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries, Route 153 in Hickson. Then listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from 5 Guys Burgers and Fries and Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station. Hot News Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR.
Shake, shake, shake it at 5 Guys Burgers and Fries. Fries. The most delicious and unique milkshakes. How about this for delicious and different? Add freshly cooked bacon to any milkshake.
Is that even legal?
You bet your milkshake and booty it is. Chocolate caramel bacon shake. Coffee caramel shake. All hand blended. Shake, shake, shake it. Down at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Just about any flavor shake that you can imagine. And they are delicious. Get your shake, shake, shake on at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Five Guys Burgers and Fries, located in Hickson at North Point. Gun Barrel at the Walmart Center. Downtown 4th and Broad. And in Cleveland at Keith and Stewart.
You need a place for your party or maybe a wedding reception for 100 or even more. Maybe you'd like to host a small trade show for your business and you need a very affordable venue. Are you looking for a place for your birthday gala or services to start up a church? Look no further than the Hidden Gem in Hickson. It's an overlooked, newly appointed reception hall right here in Hickson, Tennessee. Big space, small price. That's right, big space, small price. Call Mr. Chu and ask for a tour. 316-7388. That's 423-316-7388. He'll tell you a lot more about the venue. Rent this venue today. Just call 423-316-7388 and ask for Mr. Chu.
Our house in the middle of our street.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at SabrinaRealty.com.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house.
Money, lots and lots of money. I want to buy in the sky.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral.